Hello, good evening. Welcome to my live on YouTube. Today is Saturday, the 10th of May, and it's 8 o'clock in the evening UK time. And so, for those who are new to my channel, either watching it live or on replay, I'm a therapist and coach, and I do my best to come here twice a week at least. No, once a week at least. Hopefully twice when I can organize this better, to give some advice to anyone who would need it in regards to mental health, therapy, mindset, mindfulness, human behavior, psychology, relationships, anything to do with the mind is what I'm about. And so I share a lot of content, but also I do come live to interact with you guys. So I'm going to stay, as I typically do, a couple of hours, depending on how the flow goes. Um, and I'm going to start the way that I always start my live by reading some posts that I put out today on TikTok. And hopefully that will set a tone and inspire you, perhaps some of you, to get started and ask me questions. Okay? Okay. First post that I put out on TikTok today goes like this. You see toxicity in others because you have that same toxicity within you. The only reason it's hard for you to spot it is because it is an internal toxic behavior directed towards yourself. So this is basically to explain how we project. Everything that we experience is a projection of what we have inside of us. And so what does it mean, projection? It means that we have, all of us, some shadow parts, some parts within us that we are ignoring, repressing, avoiding. They are typically avoided because we are ashamed of them. And so now we have all of those part of us that are silenced. But here's the thing, when we push away some parts within us, they don't go anywhere. They keep pushing back. So we need to keep repressing them. So we have that sort of internal subconscious unease that is always happening until we address all of our parts. And in the meantime, what we do, we project all of those parts that we don't want on others. And what it means is that if anyone that we interact with are going to display something that is going to remind us of those parts that we have inside of us, then we're going to actually judge people, be angry at them, and see those things in them. Because it's easier to address projected shame on others than to address our own shame directly. Yeah. So there you go. This is just different angle to explain projection. And the twist about that post is that it's not something that we're aware of, because the toxicity that I'm talking about in that very video is the toxicity that we have towards ourselves, the self-hatred, the self-blame, the self-criticism. Next post, second post, goes like this. And this is quite a controversial one, because typically it's got an element of societal behavior. And this is it. Most racists don't know that they are racist because they are conflating sense of identity with behavior. And so what I'm trying to say is that a lot of people don't believe that they are racist because they don't see themselves as such. But what they don't realize is that we don't get to decide whether or not we are racist. It is our behavior that is perceived by others that are going to dictate it. It is others that are going to say whether or not we are discriminatory, whether we are racist or homophobic, transphobic, sexist, or any of those things, because it is our interaction with people that determines how they perceive us. However, there's often a huge discrepancy between self-perception and behavior. And so also there's the element that we all have some internalized discriminatory belief that we have absorbed throughout our childhood. And so we all have some level of racism for the vast majority of us, at least at the start of our life. And it's for us to realize this, and if we are ready for that, to change. Right? But until we're able to face it, we're not going to be able to change anything about it. And the reason why some people are so unable to accept this is because it's not just about their behavior. To them, there's more implication. let's say the racist jokes that they say, if someone is going to criticize them for that, they're going to have to not only protect their own ego, but also protect their own family, protect their community, protect their friends, their big brother and sisters, people with whom they had those jokes. And so now it becomes more complicated. A lot of people who can't accept that they are behaving like racists is because the whole environment is like that, and that's kind of expressing what they think is normal, and to them there's no harm, but also protecting their very sense of identity and community. We can talk about this more if you want. Just ask me, and we can. Those are socio-psychological topics that I really enjoy, because we can understand the dynamic of society. We can understand why people behave the way they do, and this makes it much easier to deal with them. It teaches us how to interact better with them and how to feel better about some people that we don't understand. And finally, the last post that I put out today on TikTok goes like this. It's okay to feel lost and confused at times, and it is actually an essential part of your journey. Because in order to find yourself, you must first get lost. And so everything is about contrast. And very often we look at the state of things now. We're not happy about it. I'm lost, I'm confused, or maybe I suffer. I'm angry, I don't have what I want. But we don't realize that we are in here to experience a journey, the whole journey of our adventure as a human being. And so everything matters in that journey. And because we are in a low, doesn't mean that it's all bad. We need lows to have highs. We need lows to know what we have to work on. And so, like, a positive post about having a more optimistic outlook about our situations, no matter what we're going through. That's it. Now let's see if there's any comments so far, and hopefully I'll get started with you guys. Lynn, hello Lynn. Good evening, Didi. Have you had a good day? Yes, I had. Thank you for asking. Thank you so much. How about you? I spent time gardening and relaxing in the sun, watching the clouds. The fav of mine. Fantastic. Well done. Good on you, Lynn. That sounds lovely indeed. Thank you. Thank you for sharing this. Onif Goyim. Hey Didi, it's Gary. Hello, Gary. I'm not sure which Gary. It's a Gary that we both know, because next you say, how's Matthew? Matthew is well, thank you. Which Gary are we talking about? So I'm going to say Gary instead of Onith Goyim. Are you both well? I hope so. Yes, we are both well. Thank you so much, Gary. I'm not racist. All right. Okay, fair enough. Big capital letters. Get you. Gary, yes, I am. I'm curious if you can tell us which Gary. Anyway, Jen Stevens, I appreciate you and your patience of understanding and being able to vocalize points we seem to forget. Thank you so much, Jen. I'm glad that you appreciate this. Is there anything you'd like to discuss today? Afmao fan. I'm going to forget this. It's just... Lynn, that's true. We need comparison to appreciate the good things. Yes, we tend to take everything literally when we are experiencing anything. And in that moment, I can explain this. So basically, we have to state that we can talk about in those situations. We can be either the adult or the child. So when we are the child, we are acting emotionally, and it's all very, very urgent. So if you look at children, they don't have a sense of time. Everything is happening right here, or it's not happening at all. And so the example that I can give you is, if you have a child that is hungry, they want food, I want food, if they're crying, you tell them food is coming, they don't care because the food is not there. They don't have an ability to appreciate that in one moment the food will be there. And so whenever we are in an emotional state, we are in the position of the child once again. And so when we are distressed, when we are overwhelmed, when we are unhappy or suffering, we are uncomfortable, and this is the emotional mind, the feeling mind that is taking over in that moment. And so in that moment, if we feel depressed, if we feel anxious, if we feel hopeless, in that moment, we are the child who is not only hopeless, but also unable to realize that there are other moments than this moment that are underway. And so what we want to do is to find a way to go from here back to there. through breathing, mindful breathing, through different practice of mindfulness. And then eventually we can remind ourselves, this is true, but it sucks. Right around now, I don't like the way my life is going. I don't like whatever happened. However, it's only one chapter, one episode. Is it going to be like that forever? No, because everything changes, nothing lasts forever. Because something has happened for a long time doesn't mean that nothing is ever going to change. And also, because something has never happened doesn't mean that it's never going to happen either. Life is about going for an adventure and discovering everything that can happen. And so everything changes, and we need to just remind ourselves of that, especially when we are caught into that emotional state, when we are not able to remind ourselves that indeed everything changes. Right? Onefi Goyim, Itchens, my dog. Are you Gary, our old neighbor? Are you our neighbor, Gary, who moved away a little while ago, who had a dog? Because I don't know about Hitchens. Is it the name of your dog? Is it you, Gary? Samantha Mina May said hi. Hello, Samantha. And so, yes, let me have a cup of coffee. Samantha, do you know about the atomic bomb? I'm not sure that we're on the same kind of mind frame. I'm here to talk about psychology and help people with anything related to mental health. So if you want to discuss those things, including relationships and understanding the human mind, so understanding why people do things, that I can talk about. Atomic bomb, I'm not sure where it's leading. If you want to extrapolate what you have in mind, and I can see if there's anything that I can add to it, but bear in mind that I'm generally here to help people expand their mind. I can talk about politics, provided it's got an element of psychology behind it. Jan Stevens, by chance, when a loved one passes and we get mad, is it because we're not ready to process the raw emotion of it? Yes. So when we lose someone that is close to us, we're going to go through what we call the stages of grief. And so it's not linear, it's not specific, it's not one system that is the same for everyone. But essentially what it means is that we're going to go through a lot of different emotions. And one of them is going to be anger. One of them is going to be denial. One of them is going to be guilt, shame, sadness. You have a lot of things. And the one which you mentioned is we get mad at it. Yeah. So it's either anger or / and denial. And those are natural states to go through when we lose someone. So what you want to do when you are grieving, you want to allow all of those states to happen. Allow the emotions to manifest themselves and to express themselves in your body. Feel the anger, feel the sadness, feel the denial, feel the whole thing, and then don't judge it, don't resist it. Learn how to feel the emotions without thinking about them. Learn how to just process them through the language of feelings, emotions, sensations, energy, body energy, if you wish. And then as you do that, it will eventually go, right? And this is how, over time, and again, the duration depends on each individual, but over time, this is how we are able to grow from the grief, right? When we deal with grief, we're not getting rid of something that is not welcome. We're growing from an experience. Grief is an experience, just like any other experiences. And so we don't want to think about grief like, it's bad, it's wrong. It's like, it's a problem. It's an illness that I need to fix. You don't fix grief. You grow from it. And so think about all the experiences that you go through in life, either good or bad, either enjoyable or painful. All experiences exist to improve you and get you to learn more about becoming a better human being. You grow and you learn from all experiences, whether they're good or bad. And grief is the same. And so what it means is that as you go through the grief, you will still think about that person if you loved them, if you miss them. And every now and then you may feel sad and cry and go through different states as you are going through during your stages of grief. But it's not going to be the main focus of you. You will be able to resume your life and do other things. And so the way people explain it is that Grief is an experience, and you grow bigger around it. And so, yeah, now different people have different rates of recovery. It depends on so many things. It depends on the sort of mind that we have. It depends on the sort of relationship that we have with that person. It depends on the belief that we have about afterlife. All of those things contribute into whether or not we're going to be able to resume our life and function sooner or later, quicker or later. I'm not sure how to say this. So yes, now some people get stuck and don't get better after a long, long time. And so when that happens, we need to address this. And the way that I see it is that it's not the grief that is creating the problem. Grief is the process of experiencing losing someone close to us. And so what we're dealing is not the grief. We're dealing with depression. Right? When people are suffering from the loss of someone after more than a year and they're still unable to focus on anything else, then to me, it is because the grief has started a depression. And so we want to address the depression, not the grief. Clips 5511 said hi. Hello. JC Franco, any advice for people recently diagnosed with bipolar 2 disorder? Thank you for your insight. I have bipolar myself, so yes, I can talk about it. So first I want to read up on the difference between bipolar 1 and bipolar 2. There are two categories. They both have essentially two stages, high or low. So when we are high, we're having what we call either manic or hypomanic episodes, and we are very energetic, and we have a lot of ideas, and we can't stop. We have a lot of strength as well. Physically, we're able to do things that we normally couldn't. And the depressive part, the low, is either very sad or being numb, or both in various capacity. Now, the main difference between 1 and 2 is that 1 has more serious manic episodes. They're called manic, and they can last. They last at least 7 days. Whereas with bipolar 2, they're called hypomanic, and they're a little bit less. It's at least 4 days. When people are bipolar 1, the manic episodes are so intense and so long that they more often than not end up in hospital because they have created something out of that state. Something happened. And so with bipolar 2, it's slightly more functional, if you want, in regards to your interaction with society. It's less difficult to operate with bipolar 2 than bipolar 1. That's the main difference. And so bipolar is, I don't know about the full literature, but I was diagnosed myself in my 20s. And I believe that it's to do with, as with everything, there's always an element of genetic and an element of environment. But I believe that just like borderline personality disorder, they are more influenced by the environment than the genetics. Let's say we have a hypersensitivity, a propensity to something, but the environment is really going to be what gets our brain to develop in such a way that we're going to be suffering from the symptoms of bipolar or BPD. And so there's an element of trauma, neglect, all of those things through childhood. I'm not sure what to tell you. Do you have any questions that you would like to ask me? But I think that would be better if you went that way. What are the sort of thoughts and worries that you may have about bipolar? What I'd say is that you want to address this. Personally, I don't believe in drugs. I used to be a drug addict myself, and alcohol and so many other things for 38 years. And so my relationship with drugs is not good. And so I do everything that I can to avoid those things. Now I understand that there's a time and a place and everyone is different. And so if it works for you, why not? But be aware that whatever drugs that we take are never going to fix the root core of the problem, the origin of the problem. So only going to make you feel a bit better momentarily, and it's still something. But you do want to have a strategy to explore the root cause of the problem. Why do you have bipolar? And so the way that I see it, I am an RTT therapist. And so RTT is a type of hypnotherapy. And what we do, we explore the memories of the past. And when we have created those beliefs, because here's how it goes. All the problems that we have are born from some belief that we have created in childhood because we had to protect ourselves from XYZ. And those systems, over time, if you don't address them, they're going to develop into all sorts of complications, such as bipolar. So it's a simple way to explain this. There's more to this than that, of course. But if we can realize this, then what we want to do is to find out why. So we don't address the bipolar. Bipolar is the way your brain works. Now, it is possible to change many aspects of it over time because your brain is plastic, and so it's going to always adapt and adjust to everything anyway. However, if you've been bipolar all your life, there's a lot of things to change. You don't want to change everything either. A lot of things about you that are right, that are good. You want to change only the problematic part. And so what you want to realize is find out what are the beliefs, what are the thoughts, what are the things that get you to get triggered? What are the beliefs that get you to feel low? And what are the triggers that get you to be high in your bipolarity? Right? And so we address this with a much more simple language. We just look at the belief that you put into place when you were a child, and we change the energy of it. We change the emotional intensity and also the interpretation of that episode that created the belief originally. And as we do so, now we are telling our body and our nervous system that we don't need to behave like this anymore. We don't need our body to create those chemical reactions that get us to feel and to behave in a certain way because of XYZ, because of the cues, the triggers that are getting us to feel like that. Everything that we feel is triggered by external and internal cues. And the experience that we're going to have that are going to interpret those internal and external cues are our belief system. I hope it makes sense. I know it's a little bit convoluted, but I'm happy to spend more time going back on it and try to explain it from different angles if you wish. But essentially, we are designed to react. We create a program in childhood, and that program is going to get us to react to everything that is happening outside and inside of us. Things that we see, situations, people, words, things that we feel and think, we're going to just get triggered all the time. And essentially, what we want to address is the triggers. And those triggers, they exist because of the belief. Right? And so typically, just to give you an example, when it comes to depression, one of the beliefs that we may have is, I don't belong. I'm not good enough. I am unlovable. Those sort of things. And so we want to find out, why do you believe that? What happened to you in childhood that gets you to believe this? So this is how I would address it with RTT. But if you want to talk about it from a different perspective, just ask me. Right? I'm just speaking out loud. I'm just thinking out loud. This is how I do things. I read stuff and then things come out, and we see what happens. But do ask me if you want to know more. JC. Samantha, I earn £2,000 a month and sometimes give my money away to people that are homeless. Okay, that sounds good. Thank you, Samantha, for that. Do you want to tell me why you are telling me that? Please, so that I understand your perspective. Because at this point in time, I'm happy that you're saying this, but any conversation you would like to have about anything, please? One in the game. So this is Gary. Yes, Didi. Been a big healing process since Central Days. Hot still in the UK. More London visit, specifically Speakers Corners, Hyde Parks in the future. So you are Gary, our neighbor with the big brown dog. Oh, fantastic. Okay, amazing that you found me somehow on YouTube. So I hope that you are better. You seem to, based on what you just said. If there's anything you want to ask about mental health, this is what I do. Since 2017, I've started that new career as a therapist. I'm a clinical hypnotherapist and an RTT therapist, and I've been doing a lot of content on YouTube and TikTok as well. And so, yes, I'm glad to hear from you. Wish you all the best, and do ask me anything if you feel like it. Jen, I appreciate that input. Thank you. Thank you, Jen. Samantha said hi. Hello. Samantha, I love your videos and you make me laugh. I'm glad I make you laugh, and I'm glad that you appreciate my video. Thank you for the feedback. JC, how to manage BPD? I use lamotrigine and I feel so much better. What strategies can I use to enhance this? So lamotrigine, is it a medication? I don't know about lamotrigine. It's an anti-seizure, anti-epilepsy drug to treat epilepsy and bipolar disorder. Okay, so we're talking about bipolar or BPD? JC, let me go back. We're talking about bipolar, weren't we? Unless you have both. Do you have both? But I think it's bipolar, because even that medication stipulates that it's to do with epilepsy and bipolar. So if you're having some medication and that it helps, it's great. But what I would like to do to emphasize is that your body creates system that triggers all sort of cascade of chemical reactions all the time. This is what we call feelings, mood, emotions, emotional states, right? And so the reason why you have bipolar is because something within your mechanism has been affected, so that you don't produce the right chemicals at the right time, and you produce the wrong one at the wrong times at the same time. And so because of that, you have those outbursts, those hypomanic episodes, and those long, prolonged phases of depression. And so if you take just drugs, you're just going to address the chemical part of it, but you're not going to address the system itself. And the danger is that your body, your brain will adapt to that, and at some point you may need something else, it will not work anymore. And so by addressing the root cause, what I mean is that addressing the mechanism. Why did your mind decided that you needed to have those triggers in place to protect you? So this is about therapy. It's about psychology. It's about learning about your past, learning about yourself, and do some work so that you change the way that you feel, the way that you read the world, the way that you interpret and translate things, the way you think about things. And this is what we're talking about. So in that regards, have you sought help? And again, ideally, you want to find someone with the right therapeutic tool to help you out with that. But if you don't have access to it, or if you don't believe in it, you can also learn how to read stuff, learn about yourself, read books, go on YouTube, go on the internet, and learn more about yourself, learn about meditation, mindfulness, and all of those things. And those things can really help address your, or here, okay, so we can talk about it. There are many things that you can do in order to address your bipolar. So first one, therapy. If you can find the right person with the right protocol, that will be absolutely a game changer. Now, I understand that it's not easy because there are a lot of people out there, so you need to find the right people with the right set of tools. Now, this is only one aspect of it. We have another two aspects, but you can absolutely work on. You can work on your lifestyle, and you can work on your environment. So lifestyle is, do you drink? Do you eat well? Do you sleep well? Do you exercise and move? Do you socialize? Do you go out in nature? Do you do things that make you happy, that are creative? Do you meditate? All of those things are very, very important. When you look after your body, you look after your mind as well, because we are not a mind and a body. We are both of them. And whether we're going to talk about ourselves like a mind or a body, it's only depending on the position we're looking at ourselves from, right? Well, many things. So if you look at yourself from a biological perspective, your body. If you look at yourself from a psychological perspective, your mind. From a spiritual perspective, you are a soul, and so forth and so on. From an atomic perspective, you are energy. And so we are many, many things, but we are the same thing, really. And so when you look after your body, you're also really making a difference in regards to your BPD. Keep stress at bay, very important as well. Keep any toxins at bay, either pollutant or mental and emotional toxins. And so now we're talking about environment. The other thing is environment. Make sure that you're surrounding yourself with people who are understanding of you and supportive. Not people who are toxic, not people who are putting you down, or not people who are stressing you out. Don't be in an environment that is going to trigger your propensity to be triggered. Right? Find a way to be in a place that are calm, where you can think straight, where you feel safe. The element of safety is very important. I believe that one of the reasons we suffer from any symptoms of the conditions that we have is because of the stress and the fear and anxiety that our environment creates, both external and internal, that is. And so look after yourself, learn how to eat better. And I'm talking about gut microbiome health. Learn how to sleep better, learn how to move, to exercise, learn how to socialize, learn how to spend time in nature, learn how to meditate, learn how to keep stress at bay. And all of those things will make a huge, huge difference into your lifestyle straight away. We don't realize, we think about, I need to have a magic pill, I need to have a magic system, a magic wand that is going to transform me. And it's not like that. We are multi-layered, we are many things. And the more you can understand the bigger picture of yourself, the more you can do more things to address all of those angles that will give you more results. Right? And so that's my advice to you at this point in time. You can either do some therapy on one hand and learn about meditation, read up about psychology, learn about bipolar, learn about trauma, CPTSD, childhood traumas, and also address your lifestyle. So learn about how to do it better and apply. There's a lot of things to do for any one of us. And then also address your environment. Are you with people who are helping you out, who understand you, who see you, who get you, who are patient and compassionate? Or are you with people who are judging you and making you feel worse about yourself? So yeah, what do you think about this? JC, it's true. I'm still struggling to change my mindset that I'm good enough. So yeah. So it's great that you have that self-awareness. But I want you to realize that mindset is the result of your heart set. So whatever you think here will be limited and dictated by how you feel about yourself. So this is why it's important to address how you feel. Now, it's a network, so it's possible to also do things from that place toward there, both direction. But we are more emotional than cognitive. And so what it means is that no matter what we want to think, we won't be able to think it unless we feel that is right. Otherwise, we can create some cognitive dissonance, and that can create more problems than anything. We may suffer from toxic positivity. I've got to be happy, I've got to be positive. But if I'm depressed, I'm going to feel terrible. No matter what, I'm trying to force myself to think. JC, bipolar. Yes, I thought so. Bipolar too. Yes, I'm in therapy. Okay, fantastic. Good on you, JC. And thank you for the little hearts. So it tells me that you appreciate, oh, at least someone in that life appreciate what I'm saying. Thank you. Okay, so well done. If you're in therapy, keep going, right? Whatever that you're doing, I want you to realize that when you go in therapy, you're going on a journey. So there are different types of therapy. You have talking therapies and you have somatic therapies, which are more transformative therapies, which is what I do. But there's a place and a time for everything. And it's for you to realize that you're going to go on a journey of self-discovery. And how long it's going to take, what sort of results you're going to get, we don't know. But it's not about the results. It's about you changing your mindset, talking about mindset, but you may not be able to change your mindset about I am enough just yet. But you can change your mindset about I want to change. I want to make it happen. I'm going to look and find and keep going until I get better and better and better all my life if needed. And that's the mindset we're talking about. Mindset applies for different conversation. And so the feeling that you're not enough, this will require much more work because it's a deep core belief. But there's a mindset that you can absolutely develop right here and now is I want to heal. I will find what I need to find. I will learn what I need to learn. I will keep going. I will explore, read everything until I find more and more elements that can really, really give me an acceleration into my journey of transformation. So yeah. MD Saran Ahmed. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum to you. Thank you. JC, I do appreciate your time and empathy. Thank you. Wish we could donate to your channel. I've been asked that, but I'm so terrible with money. I need to do that. I know that I can organize something with the YouTube so that people can do that. So I need to remind myself to do this. But I'm not very. Uh, I'm still learning how to have a better relationship with money. So thank you for reminding me. I'll try to do this sometime, hopefully next week. And thank you for thinking about it in the first place. MD Soran Ahmed, how are you? I'm very well indeed. How about you, Ahmed? Hey Didi, any tips for choosing my further education path? I am done with written exams. Have 2 oral exams in a couple of weeks and will be done with high school. Okay, so it's a good question. Any tips for choosing my further education path? Listen to your body. Listen to your feelings, your emotions, to your intuition, right? Do some meditation and think about the things that really excite you. And then go in that direction. That's it. But the most important part of this is to realize that also, again, you are in a journey. And so it's not about, I need to choose the right thing. If I choose the wrong thing, then I'm done. So this is what creates pressure. This is making it difficult for people to choose because we believe that there's a right and a wrong decision. We've been told we're using all that time, all that money to get you to study. And so you make sure that you get the right thing. But sometimes we don't. And so do your best to follow your intuition and do what it tells you to do. And that's my advice. But if even after having done that, it doesn't work, it doesn't mean that it didn't work. It means that life is taking you in a direction, and sometimes it goes like that. And sometimes it takes hindsight to realize that all the things that didn't seem to go our way or make sense were actually there for a reason as well. But the reason will only reveal itself further down in our journey. And so basically trust the universe. Follow your intuition, trust the universe, and don't take any pressure. Do your best to follow your excitement. Whatever stimulates you positively is what you want to do. And if after a year it's boring, then do something else. You have explored something, and it will add to your experience as a human being. But even in regards to your career, what we don't realize is that whatever that we do in life will change the way we think. And so what it means is that whatever that you do now will be influenced by everything that happened to you before. And this is how genius are made. What makes a genius? The ability to see things from a different perspective. And so let's say someone has done something very different in the past than what they're doing now. It is that different perspective that may give them the idea that no one saw coming. Right? And so everything on the long term does add up to you, to your qualities, to your skills, to your talents. And so take it with a pinch of salt. Again, have fun. Do what feels right. That's what I'm trying to say. Never do things because you think that it's going to give you an outcome such as money, status, safety, love from your parents or your community or society. None of those things are going to be good in the long term. They have very short life shelf because they're external rewards. If you focus on your internal rewards instead, as in what feels right to me, what makes me happy, what helps me grow, what makes me forget about time and that I could do for free anyway, then now you are doing something that is much more powerful because you're going to develop something that is much more impactful than people who don't do it for those reasons. And so as a result of that, you will also create a very good business model and you will make a very good living out of it eventually. I hope it makes sense. Does it? What do you think about this? Omnum. Oliver Nisbet. No questions as such, but love your videos, watch them every day. Thank you so much, Oliver, for your support. I'm glad that you appreciate them. If you want me to talk about anything at all, ask me. And I can, again, I'm still working on this. I want to do some long-form videos, and I've been thinking about it since the start of the year. So I'm really, really behind. But it's okay, it's a process. And so if you have any requests for videos, do ask me, and I'm happy to do some either short or long videos at some point, covering any topics that you would like me to cover. Omnum, I am torn between stable income and passions, love art and similar communication design, but feel pressure to do something technical like biotechnology in the medical field because that is needed and pay well. So this is the thing. If you do things for the money, you may have some success and money and happiness, but at some point it will be boring and you'll be missing out on your uniqueness, your talent, your skill. You are born with something special. And so basically we have two energy. You can choose the energy of fear or the energy of love. So I can give you an example. Some people, let's take that example. Some people are going to choose to do a job because because it pays well. Times are hard. I need to pay the bills. We never know with our economic climate. We need to stay safe. Now you're coming from a place of fear, energy of fear. Or you can choose the energy of love. I'm doing that because I love it. It excites me. I can't do anything else. And when I do that, I don't stop. I'm obsessed. Now we have a different energy. Both energies will give you something. But here's the twist. The nature and the quality of what you get will be very different, right? And so that applies for everything. Let's say some people may say, I want to be in a relationship. I want to be with that person because I don't want to be alone. Because yeah, because I hate myself. I need someone to love me to complete me. Fear. Or I love someone because I'm just happy to see their face every morning and every night and all the time. So it's a very different energy. We both end up with a relationship, but the nature and the quality of it is different. And this applies for everything. We could also talk about it even when it comes to life. Think about it. Some people are alive because they love life. They wake up in the morning, they're looking for the day or looking ahead for the day to come, all the dreams they want to manifest for themselves. They're excited about the littlest thing. They love life. And on the other hand, some people are alive because they're scared of death. It's the energy of fear. And they're still alive. Again, both energies will give you something that seems similar from the outside, but in the inside, the experience is going to be very different. That's why I will always suggest people be driven by the energy of inspiration, excitement. Now, having said that, it doesn't have to be all black or white. If you have so much fear, and it's often the case, we have downloaded so much fear from our parents and from society that sometimes we can't go full love, right? And so what you can do is to find a strategy. Think, okay, you know what? Maybe I can do this for a little while, and at the same time, on the side, I'm going to develop something that I love. And eventually, when that thing is big enough, I can jump from here to there. Right? So maybe you can do something that is similar to what you love, but is still going to get you in contact with that sort of network, with that sort of same-minded people. Um, and so this is, you don't have to go nuclear. Follow your path of least resistance, whatever feels easier for you. But keep in mind that in the long run, what you really want to do is to explore your full potential as a human being, which is your talents, your purpose, your superpower that we all have inside of us. So what do you think about this, Omnom? Omnom, I don't even know if I'm good at chemistry because I haven't had it in 3 years and I know that it is needed for biotechnology. Listen to your gut. Do what feels easier and more natural for you at this point in time with the little mental note that you have something inside of you that you really love. And at some point, you will allow yourself to do this. Right? Organize yourself with that in mind. That will be my advice. Omnom, should I just give it a try? So I answered it. JC, Didi, how do we support others who also have mood psychiatric disorders but refuse to get diagnosed / treatment / medicated? Do we need to be patient if we love them no matter what? It's a very good question. So let me have a sip of coffee first. A bit dry. Okay, so when we are dealing with self and others, you want to realize that the only one thing that you can really do is to address your own problems. You have enough on your plate, so you don't deal with others. What you can do is to learn about them, and you can communicate with them. I have my baggage, you have your baggage, and we're going to do our best to heal together. That's it. You need to do the same that you would expect your friends and people who love you to do for you, which is to learn about your condition. If someone cares about you and they know that you have bipolar, they must learn and read up about the how bipolar expresses itself in various individuals. so that we have a better idea of you. Because the problem with all of those conditions is that the way that we come across is disruptive and harmful to others. And so people are going to take it personally and judge us. By learning how it works, we don't take things personally anymore because we understand that person has got this because they had trauma in childhood that they have never chosen in the first place. And when they are into the state, they can't control themselves. They're not doing it on purpose. They're not revealing their true self or any of those BS. We do what we can, and when we are in a certain heightened emotional state, we're just literally the hostages of those things. Just 1 second, please. And so learning what a condition is get us to have empathy and compassion and patience for that person. And so this is what you want to do with your friends. You don't want to change them. You don't want to give them some advice, to mansplain any of those things. What you want to do is to give them presence. I see you, and then I accept you, and I love you for who you are. Now I am aware that you have some problems. I have my problems as well. And we can talk about it, we can work on it. But learn how to accept them, just like you would like them to accept you. You don't want people to judge you. You don't want people to think, he's so miserable. When you are depressed, you're not miserable. You're suffering from depression. It's very different. But people are going to say that, this person is always dragging me down. Or if you are having a hypomanic episode, that person is out of control. They can't control themselves. They're very weak-minded. Some people would judge someone with bipolar as such. But if you had any education in mental health, they would understand that we don't choose that. We're not weak. No one chooses anything. We're just behaving in whichever way we can behave based on our past, a past that we've never chosen anyway. And so how do we support others? By being kind to them, by being present, by not trying to push them, not trying to change them. You can have an open discussion, but be aware that they are just like you and you are just like them. That's the best way to deal with that. That teaches you also empathy. Right? Don't treat others the way you wouldn't want to be treated like. And so how do you want to be treated like? With patience, with empathy, with compassion, with understanding. And you do the same with them, right? The symptoms, the behavior is the result of something that happened to them. See the individual behind the behavior. See the soul behind the body. See the child behind the adult. Does it make sense, JC? Oliver, I think the long-form videos are a great idea. Maybe a series on the basic concepts of understanding yourself. Maybe like understanding X, understanding self-sabotage, understanding emotions. Okay. So, yes, okay. So, noted. This is what I have in mind. Yeah. Thank you, Oliver. So we're talking about self-sabotage and emotions and self-awareness. Okay, so this is all planned. It's on my radar already. So, but goes well. Thank you. Hopefully, I will do them, and I'll get some feedbacks from you then. Omnom, I live on my own, and I have no family or such to support me. That's why financial stability really matters to me. Okay, so of course it matters, and it's true that for some of us it matters more. But you still need to accept that you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. And so you can never know for sure if that choice is going to be more fruitful or less than another choice. So you want to realize that the reason why you have some pressure is because you have that belief. If I make the wrong decision, it's going to be costly. It's going to cost me a lot if I take the wrong decision. So now that creates pressure. But if you can realize that all of your decisions are always the only decision that you could ever take in that moment, then you are letting go of the pressure. We have that fantasy that we have a fantasy that we have a choice, and this is a delicate subject, but the truth of the matter is that for the vast majority of us, and in the vast majority of times, we don't have access to free will. Whatever that you do, whatever that you choose to do, will be dictated and limited by your emotional state. And that emotional state is subconscious, it's autopilot, it's a program that you have put into place a long time ago. So this is very important to realize, and some people will really resist it. But when we are in a state of going through our daily routine, we're on autopilot, and we're reacting emotionally to anything that is happening outside and inside of us. And so what it means is that even the choices that you have, they're limited by your emotional allowance, by your belief, by what you believe is available to you. And so that is to say that even the choices that you take, that you think are choices, they are limited by some automated emotional triggers that you put into place. So you don't choose, really. You will only ever do what feels safe and right, depending on that setup. And you always avoid what feels dangerous and wrong. So that's one aspect of it, but also realize that whatever that you do will always take you in another direction, and it's all good. Accept that the universe has a plan for you, and it knows better, and trust it. Surrender to it. Do your best to follow your intuition, which is the language of the universe telling you you should go in that direction, and then take it one day at a time. But if you start to think, yes, but it's costing me a lot of money and time, I need to make a choice. Now you are interfering with that flow. You are creating some resistance, and you may not be able to then take the decision that would have been the best and the kinder for you at this point in time in your life. Does this help? Om. If you are really, really struggling with money, maybe at this point in time, it's easier for you to focus on the money, right? But this is what I'm saying. In the long run, keep in mind that you have something else that you want to develop, and maybe as soon as you can, then transfer to that thing, right? Change. Maybe you are in a situation where your priority is to make money, and so go for it. But if you can realize that money is an illusion, and whether you have money or not is the result of how you feel about your relationship with money. And so this is the paradox. When you start to be more lax, to be more relaxed, to be more trustful about abundance, that's when money will come to you in myriads of forms. But again, we all have a trauma, and many of us, we have, and I know this because I had this myself for a huge chunk of my life. Many of us, we have a scarcity mindset that is the result of whatever happened in childhood that was to do with money, that created a negative association with it. So I understand that it's not easy. We can talk about this. Maybe we can talk about scarcity mindset versus abundance mindset, if you wish. But yes, there's no ultimate right or wrong. There's only what you feel in this moment. And yeah, follow your intuition. That's very big advice. But if you are overwhelmed by fear and anxiety, if you have money anxiety, then maybe at this point in time, for now, addressing the money would be your priority. Maybe that would be the one thing that will make you feel a bit better about yourself, a bit safer. Oliver, you have a very soothing voice, and I'm sure many people would happily listen to a 20-minute video in that format, even just to listen to someone empathetic and gently spoken as yourself. Thank you. Yeah, so that's what. So it's just a matter of time. But this is what I was thinking about doing with my long form videos. Is to just have a topic, and not necessarily write anything down. Just maybe some key bullet points, and then just go talk about it, like I do on my lives all the time, and see what comes out. That was the formula that I had in mind, but it's just about me organizing myself, because I have my practice. I look after my clients every day. I'm writing my books. I'm looking after myself. I have my life with my husband. I have to address all those aspects of my life. And so, just like everyone, I'm learning how to create systems that allow me to incorporate some new things that are important to me. It's a process. But yes, thank you, Oliver. Yes, it's a very good comment, because it's indeed what I had in mind as well. It's really about talking about things, but it's not about delivering some bullet point presentation. It's about me just channeling some ideas based on some film that are just going to give a start to the videos and a direction. And thank you for your kind comments and feedbacks, Oliver. JC, yes, it does. Thank you. Fantastic. Thank you. Fox Gray A1. Hi, everyone. Hello, Fox Gray. So, yeah, coming to the end of the thread for now. We have more coffee and anything else you'd like me to talk about? Again, for those who are not familiar with me, I am a clinical human therapist and an RTT therapist, and I'm here to give some advice. I specialize in depression, anxiety, addiction of any type of intensity, self-sabotage, anger, and anything related to stress and trauma in general. Because everything, when it comes to mental health, is related to stress and trauma in some capacity, in some ways. But I'm also happy to explore the psychology of why people do certain things, to give clarity to everyone. The reason why we suffer in this world is because we don't know about mental health and because we don't know about human psychology. And so we assume that people are doing certain things because of this or that. We've been taught to be judgmental. We've been taught to label people. And because of that, now we have created a separation. Some people are good, some people are bad. Some people are better, some people are lesser. Some people are superior, some people are inferior. And we beat ourselves up because we believe that we're not good enough. And some people are trying to overcome others because of their own insecurities of not being enough. And that creates all the discord in this world. But if you can understand that we're all different and we express the way we express ourselves because of X, Y, Z, not because of our character, not because of our poor moral values or any of those things, but just because it is the psychology that we have inherited from our life up to this point, then things is very different. So for instance, instead of saying to someone, thinking that someone is lazy, maybe that person has ADHD. Instead of thinking that person is needy, maybe that person has got borderline personality disorder. Maybe that person is miserable, maybe they have bipolar, and so forth and so on, right? Maybe that person is very rude. Maybe that person is on the spectrum of autism. And this is just the way they express themselves, and so forth and so on. If we can understand that we are all which that we are because of our psychological makeup, because of our upbringing environment, then we can understand. And we don't need to judge. We don't need to think that some people are better than others, starting with ourselves. That's what I'm trying to do here. Oliver Nesbitt, would you go through an idiot guide to self-sabotage and why it happens, please? So the first thing is that I would never call it an idiot guide because idiot is very, very derogatory. It's very, very mean. There's no such thing as idiot. I don't believe that anyone is an idiot. I don't believe that anyone is stupid. So again, it's one of those labels that we are being taught to give on others ourselves. But if you think about it, everyone is stupid in some places and times. No one knows everything. And so we can always be judged stupid by some other people if we happen to be in the wrong crowd, in the wrong place, in the wrong conversation. And so we want to realize that everyone knows what they know and they don't know what they don't know, and it's okay. Instead of judging people and calling them idiots, we can teach them. But I understand what you mean. I know that you don't come from that place. I'm just highlighting this because for me, words are very important. And so I would first not use idiot. But I understand that what you mean by that are those books that are to address any subject from a very simple perspective. And so in that sense, yes. In that sense, one of the most important aspects of my work is to be as simple and clear as possible. If I can teach a child the principles of quantum physics applied on spirituality and philosophy and our life and psychology, I would love it. If I can explain the universe and human psychology to someone in a very simple way, to someone who doesn't speak English very well, that's what I want to do. And I'm working on that. So hopefully I come across as such. I'm trying to do my best to be as concise and precise as possible. And so, yes, but I believe that you don't need to highlight that it's for idiots, as in beginners, because I believe that the right people attract the right people. We attract people who are similar to our energy. And so my aim is for people to understand what I'm talking about. So I will attract people who want to understand things. Some of the people, they have a very, very highbrow vocabulary, and they don't care about being understood. They just want to impress. They just want to show off. See, I'm very clever. I've got some many years of academia, and no one understands what they say. And these people are attracting people who are just there for the vibe, as in that person reminds me of someone very clever, a professor that I had, and I like the idea, but they don't get it. It's like Jordan Peterson. A lot of people appreciate Jordan Peterson, but no one really knows why, because he talks a lot of BS. But the way that it comes across is very impressive. And so I believe that I don't need to explain this in my books. I just, by doing things on the social media, I believe that enough people will know about my general vibe, and the right people will follow me and get what they are after. But the way that I explain things has got to be as simple and as easy as possible. Otherwise, there's no point to it. It's just ego massaging, and I have lost interest in that game a long time ago. But yes, I can talk about self-sabotage. It's a very, very important subject to the sort of conversation that I have. I could even talk about this now. Let me check the next comment and see. If I don't have any other comments, I can talk about this today. JC, why do people, especially men, cheat but say they love you? Why don't they just break up first? Why keep you around? So let me talk about this first, if you don't mind, Oliver. And then we can come back to that subject. Because self-sabotage is a big subject. And it doesn't need any context. It's a really, really... Yeah. Okay. First, JC Franco. Why do people, especially men, cheat? Just this. People cheat because they're not satisfied in their relationship. That's it. Whether they're men or women or non-binary or trans or anything at all. We cheat because we want something and that thing is not there. But also, we're scared of losing what we have. And so we have to cheat instead of saying, you know what, I'm not happy. They're not able to express their unhappiness. They believe that I must accept this, and the only way that I can get what I want, what I really want now, what I need, is by cheating. Right? And so people who cheat, they're not, again, we don't want to think that they're bad. They're doing what they can. So it comes across as bad. It will hurt some people. But if you can understand the psychological process behind it, you understand that they are caught in a corner. They're like, I want to do that thing, to have that thing. I don't get it from my partner anymore. I don't get the sexual intimacy. I don't get what I really would like to do. But life, people, society has taught me that I must live my life like that. And that's all that I can get. And if I'm not happy with that, I can't express it. If I say something, I may have to divorce. And I can never do this because if I divorce, I will lose everything. People will look down on me, my family, people will turn their back at me. I'll be a bad person. God will look down on me. So again, we are limited by the belief we've been given. And so that person now has got no other choice but to go and cheat. Now, there are some cases where people cheat because they don't care about the feeling of some people. Some people don't have empathy. So they are an exception. Right? Some people have conditions where they don't have empathy for others. And that'll be the reason why they cheat. They don't care. And maybe they're manipulating people. Right? So those are people who are who will be judged more like bad people. But think about this. Even them, no one chooses not to have empathy. No one chooses to be a narcissist, a sociopath, or to have antisocial personality disorder, or to be a psychopath, or any of those things. No one chooses that. They are which that we are, and they behave in whichever way they are programmed to behave like. Right? And so what I'm trying to say is that whether they're doing it out of fear, out of being trapped because of limiting belief that society teaches us, or because they lack of empathy, doesn't matter. What matters is that if someone cheats on you, what are you going to do with that? The first thing that you want to do is to not take it personally. Not think that it's because of me. They cheated on me because people don't respect me. Because people don't listen to me. Because my voice don't matter. Or because I'm unlovable. Or because love is not available to me. Or whatever that we believe about ourselves. We suffer only because we believe that there's something wrong about us. If you can accept that it's on them, then you can feel, okay, they did that because of that. I don't need to feel bad about myself. I can move on. I can either forgive, we can talk about it, we can sit down, we can change the way we do things, or I can move away from that person and start a new adventure with someone else. But we don't need to dwell on it. If we dwell on something like that, it's because there are parts of us that are being wounded. We believe that it's because of me. It's got to be, what did I do? What did I not do? What did I do to deserve this? Even if we think that it's their doing, we feel that it's got to be because we deserve it. And so that's the main element when it comes to cheating. People cheat only because they don't get what they want, or because they lack of empathy, or both. Does it help, JC? Let me finish, because I didn't finish your question. So why do people, especially men, cheat but say they love you? So they say they love you because maybe they love you. Maybe they do love you. Maybe that person loves you, but they have some intimate desire that they can't fulfill with you, right? And so because of that, it's an urge. Some of us, we can't resist this urge, like people who are neurodivergent. Right? We're going to be very impulsive. And so, let's say for someone with ADHD, because of the need of dopamine, that is going to be much, much, much harder to not indulge to what we feel we want to do. But also, if we have, borderline, bipolar, any of those things, we create a lot of associations. And for many of us, it's very, very difficult to regulate, and we don't want to. We want to follow our energy and do the things that feel right to us, provided it's safe for everyone. But when we are being taught, this is society, this is your religion, this is what your family expect from you and everyone else in the community, now we have a lot of pressure. And because of that, now some of us who are caught into a place where we have no other choice but to cheat. We don't want to hurt the person that we love. Maybe that person who cheated on you did love you and didn't want to hurt your feelings, but yet they couldn't help themselves. People judge people who are cheating because they believe that they are lacking of willpower and I don't know, of good values. But they're just judging them again. They don't understand that they are whichever they are because of X, Y, Z. It's got nothing to do with your character. But they say they love you. Why don't they just break up first? Yes, so because maybe they're scared, or maybe they want to give it a chance, or maybe they don't have empathy and they want to manipulate you and have many, many partners spread over the whole world. Like, I think, I don't know, there was a famous musician who had a wife in each state in America. Why keep you around? So yes, they keep you around because of that. Either because they genuinely care for you, but they don't know what else to do, or because they don't have empathy. In which case, you don't necessarily want to be with people like that. They will find themselves. We all have someone, but generally speaking, it's very, very hard to be with someone that has no empathy for others, unless we have our own emotional imbalances. Oliver, no, please feel free. I am in no rush. Thank you, Oliver. Turbo Rusky, hey man, I just wanted to thank you for what you are doing. Every time I see one of your videos, it gives me valuable knowledge and a fresh perspective. Thank you so much for the kind and generous comment. Keep up the great work. Greetings from Germany. Thank you, Turbo. Omnom, how do I get rid of my extremely toxic neighbor? Shovel. No, it's a joke. How do you get rid of your neighbor? I'm not sure that I can help you with that, or that I should. Let me read the whole thing. How do I get rid of my extremely toxic neighbor? I want to end all contact because she's weighing down on me. I'm friendly and help people when I can. I just see her as a neighbor, but she thinks we are BFF and that I owe her things. Okay, just based on that, talk to her, set boundaries. That's it. Tell her, you know what, I'm glad that you appreciate me, but I think you get the wrong ID. Tell her, speak to her, communicate, and set boundaries. Right? Let me read more. I think there's more. Omnom. Also, she can be a really aggressive person and is mentally very unstable to the point I don't know how to let her down slowly. Okay, so maybe she's got some conditions. She's going to get aggressive and I don't know what to be ready for when I do it. So if you are feeling unsafe, if you don't know how to deal with the emotional eruptions that she's displaying, keep yourself safe. Tell her, you know what, find a way to tell her, we can be a neighbor, but I don't have time, I need to do my things. Stop giving her time and space. If it's not safe for you, if you believe that the more you're allowing her into your space, the more complicated and dangerous and scary it is for you, stop it. You are allowing her into your life. You don't have to. You can say, you know what, I'm busy. Just create a space, find whatever reason, more and more so, and tell them, I don't have the time, sorry, I've got other things to do. Don't do anything to aggravate her. Don't tell her, I don't like you anymore. Or just tell her, I don't have time. And eventually, over a long period of time, she will get the message. And even if she doesn't, it doesn't matter. Just keep going. I've got other things to do. I'm focused on my things. Have a good day. Bye bye. Ciao. You go this way, I go this way. And keep doing this again and again. Keep your space safe. That's what I would say. You don't have to let her down slowly. Just avoid her. Because the truth is that if she's got some conditions that affect her self-esteem, she may take things personally and she may turn aggressive towards you. If she's got borderline personality disorder, for instance, if your friend is good, but the moment she decides that you're the enemy, you don't want to have that sort of neighbors. So just tell her, I'm sorry, but I'm overwhelmed. I've got so many things to do. Bye-bye. And do it again, again, again. And eventually they'll get bored. If they force themselves to just tell them, I can't, I don't, you don't have to explain everything. Just say, I can't, I don't have the time. I don't have the, I've got something to do. Just ignore her again and again and just do that. When you are in a better place here and there, then you can learn how to communicate with people differently. There are ways around it. But we're all at a different place in our journey. And if you're feeling unsafe, then it tells me that you may not be ready just yet. Like if I have some neighbors like that, but because I understand the condition, I've got it myself, and because I'm a therapist, then it's much easier for me. I know exactly what to do, what to say, how to come across, and everything is absolutely fine. But that's because I know myself very, very much. And it took me many years to get there. And so it's possible to do this at some point, but if you're telling me that you feel unsafe and you don't know how to deal with her emotional outburst, then it's telling me that you're not there yet and you don't have to, you know, you just want to live your life and do what is right for you. But I would say just focus on you and tell her, you know, I've got my stuff to do and I wish you a good day. Bye-bye. That's it. You don't need to explain anything else. And just walk away fast, brusquely. As long as you're not openly challenging her, it's okay. You know, you can move away very quickly. You know, and she will feel something, but keep smiling. Say, "No, you're right. Bye bye," and then she will be in a position where, well, I don't like the fact that she's always running away from me, but at the same time, she's still smiling at me and still wishing me a good day. So she's not a bad person. So I'm not going to choose to torment her. Does it help, Omnam? Lynn, for years I attracted people who needed fixed, and when they got what they needed, they would leave. It used to hurt until I realized that I needed that journey because I was too eager to help and feel needed. Okay, so let me try to read this again and understand in more depth. I attracted people who needed fixed. So they needed you to fix them, and when they get what they wanted, they would leave. It used to hurt until I realized that I needed that journey because I was too eager to help and feel needed. Okay, so whichever way you've grown from a situation, whatever that you have learned from it, but this is it, right? This is your own experience and your own interpretation of what you had to learn. But this is it. Whatever that happened to us is always there to teach us something about ourselves. And if we can do this, if we can have a detective mindset and search, why did that thing, that bad thing, that ordeal, that problem, that bad person, why did that happen in my life? What was it for? What is it trying to teach me about myself? Then you have a much better relationship with adversity, with challenges, with unforeseen bad circumstances, and you realize that everything is indeed there also to teach you about something. So this is a very empowering mindset to have. So good on you, Lynn. Rachel Mum, hello from the UK. Hello, Rachel Mum. This is from the UK as well. I live in London. Rachel Mum said hi. Hello. JC, thank you for that. I needed it. I'm crying, but I need to release it. this. All right, okay, okay. Let it out. Tears are very healing. We cry because the tears are precisely there to soothe us from the pain. When we have pain, either physical or emotional, when we cry, the pain has occurred already. We don't cry because we have pain. We cry because the tears carry some chemicals, some endorphins that are literally existing to soothe us, both from physical and emotional pain. So when we cry, we are basically creating some natural painkillers. Right? It's your body's natural response to make you feel better. So you're basically giving yourself some self-love and self-care when you allow yourself to cry. So do cry, let it out, and you notice that when you cry, you feel better after that, right? When we repress our tears, I don't want to cry, now we feel terrible for a much longer amount of time. And also by doing this, we are repressing some toxic energy, some energies that become toxic when they're trapped in our body over time and creates a lot of complications. So yes, JC, go through the process, and thank you for sharing this with us, for being transparent about it. I think it's going to help other people who are watching this. Omnom, I have been trying to do what you said for 2 years. It's not working. She has also shouted at me multiple times for not doing the things she expects from me. So in that case, you need to get to the next level. Get the police involved. That's it. Whatever is happening, you need to find a solution, right? So if anything, so the way that I would look at it is address your mindset. Think to yourself, what can I do to make this happen? What can I learn? And keep looking for ways to make it happen until you find it. There's always going to be something at some point, and it's for you to find it, right? And so if you've been doing everything that I said, try something else. But I believe, okay, so let me be, this is not very good for me. I apologize. Let me try to be kinder, because I just realized that I come across a bit like mean, and I don't want to be this. I understand that you've been trying your best and it's not working. Okay, let's explore this. I believe that the reason why it's not working is because you are emotionally still reacting to her. And this is what people who are kind of aggressive do. They feed on your emotions, on your emotional reactions. So what it means is that the more you react to them, the more they have control. The more they realize that they have control over you. And so you may say no, but if your body language, if the tone of your voice, if your facial expression, if your general energy is showing that you are scared of her, then she will still feel it and she will keep going. And so basically now, it's not about the mindset. It's about you having some emotional reactions that are getting for that person to be more of herself with you. She's having a relationship with you because you are completing her narrative. She needs people like you in her life. But here's the thing. You are reacting like that because probably you've been hurt by people in similar fashion when you were younger. And so there's a part of you that is still allowing this to happen and that is still reacting to it like that. And so I'm not sure what I could suggest you, but what I'm trying to say is address your own self, as in address the fears that you have, so that eventually when you communicate with her, you don't radiate those emotions that are going to indicate to her that she can keep going at you. I hope it makes sense. If it's not working, it's because what we say is never as important as how we say things. And so, again, it's your general energy. And again, it's not your fault. Nothing is ever anyone's fault, but it's to explain what is happening. And so, if you could find a way to work on your own fears and learn how to set boundaries and learn how to be more confident, then eventually that will enable you to communicate in a way that is more assertive, and then she will feel it and she will stop trying to trespass your boundaries. Does it make sense, Omnam? And if she's telling you she's been shouting at you, this is the thing. Did you tell her no? Did you tell her don't shout at me? Did you do something about it? Because this is telling me that you're still allowing her, right? That's what I'm talking about when I say set boundaries. If anything did that to me, I would say, Stop, you don't shout at me. I'm sorry, I don't know what's going on with you, but you can't shout at me. It's got nothing to do with me. If you keep shouting at me, I will not speak to you anymore. Because it's scary, it's wrong, it's not normal, right? This is what boundaries are about. For me, if you tell me that you've been doing it for 2 years and she's still doing it, it means that you are still allowing her to do this, right? You're just because you don't know what else to do, but it is a matter of fact, you are allowing her. And what you want to do is the way is to find a way to teach her, to tell her, this is not on. I can't deal with that. I'm sorry that you are going through whatever you are going through. However, you cannot shout at me. This makes me feel very uncomfortable. This is wrong and I cannot accept it. If you shout at this is what a boundary is. If you keep shouting at me, I will not see you. Boundary is not telling someone I don't like it. Boundary is telling someone, if you keep that behavior, I will do that. And then apply the behavior. If you keep shouting at me, if you keep threatening me, I will call the police. And then, if she keeps doing it, do it, right? If you tried everything else and it didn't work, you need to take it to the next level. Okay, Omnon, does that help at all? Rachel, can you just ignore her? Well, with neighbors is tricky because sometimes it can be, if they have decided that they would invade you. But again, it's not about ignoring, it's really about establishing a different emotional dynamic. Omnom, it was not mean or anything, you are totally right. Okay, so you agree with some of the things that I said. Hopefully, you can apply some of the things at some point and tell us about it. Set some boundaries, just tell her, you know what, yeah, this is it. If you keep doing this, I will do that because it's making me feel very, very uneasy. Lynn, yes, Didi, I learned that helping them was filling a void in myself that stemmed from childhood. Okay, I get it. So are you meaning that you always saw yourself like the person who helped others? Are you the carer in your mind? Feelings needed meant being seen, so any attention was better than none. I'm grateful for my journey. Okay, good. Lynn. Nom. I told her to not speak to me like that many times, 2 times. I just straight shouted back at her because she does not understand the words. Okay, so again, remember, setting boundaries is not telling her how you feel. It's telling her what you will do if she keeps doing that, and then do the thing that you said you would do. No, I doesn't care about them. Okay. Do you understand the distinction? It's very important. And hopefully that will help you with that situation. Rachel, I have to go because I got to work early. This little bit was interesting, so we try to log in earlier next time. Good luck and see you soon, love. Thank you so much, Rachel. Do come back. Yes, I will. I don't know what time. I'm still learning how to find the right time, but I will be here at some point on Saturday. And also I want to do another one in the weekdays. So maybe Wednesday or Thursday afternoon. So it depends. But if you can't make it, you can always replay the live. But of course, if you come in the live, you can ask me things directly. So thank you for your support, and I see you next. I'm also on TikTok. If you're there, I do also live as often as I can in the evening, weekdays on TikTok. So there you go. Pumpkin Puff. Oh, hello. Hi, Didi. How are you doing today? I'm good. Thank you so much. How about you? Omnom. Yes, I will talk to her. Thank you, Didi. Fantastic. Thank you, Omnom. Just tell her, you do want to tell her that you care about her. However, she's making you feel uneasy. And this is a wrong, no one should have that sort of relationship. It's not good. And so, for the sake of both you and her, if she continues to behave like that, you have to do something about it. That's it. End of the thread for now. Does anyone has anything else you want to talk about? I know that it can be a bit daunting when we are doing live streams, but I'm doing my best to create a safe space here. So if there's anyone who's going to misbehave, they're not welcome to stay. And today it seems to be right. We're lucky. Pumpkin Puff. I'm fine. Glad I could catch you while you were alive. Thank you very much. Is there anything you'd like me to talk about? Oliver, are you still here? Because I could talk about self-sabotage if you wanted. If you're still here. Man Smith said hi. Hello, Man Smith. I see some little hearts here. Thank you. From whoever. Let me go on my YouTube channel. Maybe I can see who does it. No, I don't. Go on my YouTube channel. Maybe I can see who does it. There's a slight delay, but I can see all of your comments here as well. Oh well. Okay, let me see. Pumpkins. Yes, just hold on. I'm getting my lunch situated. All right. Okay, take your time when you're ready. As long as I know that someone is about to ask me something, I can chill a little bit. Lunch, so we're not in the same geographical situation. Mansmith, you are just so fit. Oh, right, all right, thank you very much, waving head. I'm fit, thank you very much. It's very kind of you. My ego appreciate this a lot, thank you. It's always nice to hear. It took me a while to learn how to love myself. I used to hate myself, like so many of us. And all my life up to the age of 38, 39, which is when I started to change, I hated everything about myself, inside and out. I hated everything and everyone, not just me. I also hated people. I hated life. I hated the world. And now I love myself. I love the way I look. I love going to the gym. I love the way I sound, the way I come across. I love everything. And some people may think, oh, it's arrogant. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. I don't believe that it's arrogance in the sense that self-love is not arrogance. Arrogance is when you love yourself, but for that love to happen, you must feel better, superior than others. Arrogance is believing that you are better. I don't believe that I'm better. I can love myself without comparing. I love everyone just as well. I can find and see the beauty in everyone now because we project how we feel. And so in the past, I used to think that everyone was ugly except those who are typically like models. And so basically, I was very harsh and judgmental towards others and to myself. And now that I have accepted myself fully, I can see the beauty in everyone, like literally everyone. I go in the park, I observe people, and I love, no matter who they are, what they are, how they come across, I can see some type of beauty. I can imagine their whole life, and I find this amazing because it's really reflecting how far I've come in my own journey of self-acceptance. But anyway, I do appreciate that little comment. JC, what inspired you to do the work you do? Nothing inspired me. Life took me there. So this is the thing. I'm asked that question a lot, and people think that there's something that happened that get me to that. No, that something is life, and this is pretty much the dialogue that I have. Everything that we are is no more no less than the continuation of everything that happened to us up to this point. So we are a story, we're a journey, we're an adventure, we're not this moment in time. And so whatever that we are doing here is the result of everything. So there may be some encounters, some books, some thoughts that have triggered some awareness that accelerated my journey in that direction. But I was always on that journey. It's the same journey. It's the journey of me. And so what prompted me to do that? 38 years of suffering and pain and torment and hell. That's where it started, right? But I think when people ask me that, they want to ask, who inspired me? Right? But it's not like that. It's a process. And there are some moments where we have some aha situations, some epiphanies. But even these epiphanies, they only exist on the back of everything else that happened before. So to answer your question, what inspired me to do what I do? Life took me there in different ways, gradually, more and more so. I hope it satisfies your answer. Maybe I can think about, I think everyone inspired me. My journey inspired me, but also people some people, some good people, some loving people that I've met all through my life, they inspired me. I think what inspired me is knowing that some people, is having known that some people are good and some people can heal. Uh, and so this is what we do. We can only create what exists in our radar, in our subconscious mind, in our mind. And so if I believe, if I've never met anyone who healed, if I've never met anyone who's happy, I cannot see myself as such. But even though I've been through sort of things, bad things, there was a part of me that believed that some people can heal, some people can get better, some people can be kind to others and inspire others, and eventually that little glimpse of positivity kept me going long enough so that I could eventually explore it for myself. But yes, I think people inspire people. Everyone, anyone who's kind inspires me. Everyone who's been through all sorts and found the way out inspires me. That's it. But even, I mean, even people who don't, we all have our journey. I think humans are inspirational. I think we are inspirational in our ability to be humans, to go through whatever we're going through, with all the hurt, the suffering, the self-hatred, with all the problems in society, with everything that is going on. Just there is a beauty and poetry into the human condition. And I find it very inspirational. And maybe I'm going to think even broader than that. You know what inspires me? Life, nature, animals, trees, clouds, plants, rivers, mountains, wind. All of those things inspire me greatly. Music inspires me, food inspires me, laughter inspires me. I don't know, there's so many things that inspires me. And all of those things all together create this. And it's the same with all of us. Thank you, JC. I can relate. You are really handsome. Oh, thank you so much, guys. As we can see, just one moment, and now I'm looking at myself. Thank you. Pumpkin Puff. How do we actively work on growth? I'm trying to stop being like my parents were and want to work on talking through things instead of living. So how do we work on growth? Number one, self-awareness. I want to grow. I want to change. I don't want to be that anymore. Or I don't want to be like them as I grow further more in my life. And so first, awareness. Number two, you want to learn about the growth mindset. And so there's literally a book that can teach you that, and it's called Mindset. That's it. The author is Carol Dweck, and she's the one who popularized the idea of a growth mindset versus a fixed mindset. So if you read that book, you will learn everything that you need to do to learn in order to grow. Because mindset is a system of thought, right? And so thoughts are what we think. Mindset is how we think. And so when you learn about mindset, you're not learning about some knowledge. You're learning about how to retrieve more knowledge, how to retrieve the right kind of knowledge, how to keep going. And it's bringing an element of optimism and positivity as well. Because when you have a growth mindset, you understand that everything is a lesson. There's never any mistake. There's never any problem. There's never any challenge. Everything can be overcome and learned from. And even if we don't overcome those things, we can grow from those ordeals, from those situations. And so self-awareness, you have it already. Next, learn about how to operate from a growth mindset. The growth mindset is opposite to a fixed mindset. Fixed mindset is, it is what it is. Some people have luck. Some people have things that work on their favor. They are born in a good family, they have network, they have money, they have education, they are intelligent, they have a high IQ. So they have everything. I don't have this, so I'm never going to get it unless I get those things, right? But some of the things I may believe that I can't get it. If people believe that IQ is very important, for instance, which a lot of people do, then this is typically a fixed mindset, right? And it goes both ways. So some people may have a very low IQ and think, I can never be as smart as anyone else because I don't have the IQ. Someone with a growth mindset is going to think, I don't care about this because there are a lot of different types of intelligence, and whatever that I need to learn, I can learn, I can grow, I can be better. I don't need to be born in a certain way to make it. But also, people who have a high IQ, they can have a fixed mindset. They may think, aha, I've got a very high IQ. Everything is going to be super easy for me. And then suddenly, at some point in their life, they meet someone with a higher IQ than them. And suddenly they're like, gosh. Because they believe that everything about their worth was down to their IQ. Whereas the growth mindset is that I don't care about my start in life. I may be poor, I may be suffering from trauma, from abusive parents, I may not have access to education, I may not, but it doesn't matter because I'm going to find out how to make this happen. This is a growth mindset. I mean, to learn what to learn in order to make this happen. It's going to take as long as it can, I don't care. Fixed mindset is also associated with learned helplessness. It didn't work, so it means I'm a loser and it's never going to work and I'm going to give up. Growth mindset is, it hasn't worked yet. And we keep going. So what's the difference? The difference to someone who is successful in anything at all is only one word: consistency. If you keep going at something, you will make it happen. Now, how can you make it consistent? By having a growth mindset. Okay? Pumpkin Puff. Does it work? Does it help? Thank you for the little heart. But we can talk about the specific things that you don't want to be. What are the things about your parents that you are resenting or that you are trying to avoid becoming? If you want to tell me that, we can address this specifically. Omnom, and love the energy you exude in general, the way you carry yourself. Thank you so much, Omnom. Thank you. Mindsmith, I'm also kind of making my body and mind better. Agree with you. Okay, yeah. The body and the mind, again, is the same thing. It's just two different aspects, two different perspectives of the same entity that is us. And so when we look at one, when we look after one, we also look after the other. When you look after your body, your mental and emotional health is better. When you look after your mental and emotional health, your physical health is also better. So ideally, we want to address both. And we also want to, at some point, address our spiritual self. Jose Antonio Diaz Jr., OMG. I don't know what it is. I'm going to ignore this. I believe that it's a silly comment. Lynn, I used to get embarrassed with compliments as I wasn't used to getting them, but I yearned for them. Learning to love and accept myself taught me to just say thank you for the compliment. Let me read this again. I'm a bit unstabilized because of a comment, but I'm going to address this next. I used to get embarrassed with compliments as I wasn't used to getting them. Okay? Because you believe that you were not good enough. And so you are an imposter to the compliment. But I yearned for them. Yeah, of course we do. Learning to love and accept myself taught me to just say thank you for the compliment. Yes, well done. Yes, it's not easy for many of us to accept a compliment. Because we've been so taught that we didn't deserve anything good. But when someone says something like that, we believe that it's too good to be true. And also, something bad may happen if we accept that good thing happening to us. So let's talk about that thing that I caught from the corner of my eye that is annoying me. Jose, long start it was. Jose, I hope that you're going to behave, because this page is very important for me to help people in their life. And so please, don't troll or say anything silly, because otherwise we're not going to be friends. Okay. If you want help, I would love to help you out. But it's very important to be kind to one another on this life, please. Thank you, Jose. Mansmith, I'm pushing myself too. Started a YouTube channel yesterday. Okay, good on you. And sharing my journey of becoming better, one in communication, physics, mindset, etc. Fantastic. Good on you, Mansmith. Mansmith, yes, I'm reading that book by Carol Dweck. We also upload learning on YouTube. Okay, that's it. So it's not just about reading. You must really, really, really apply, right? Like with anything, a lot of people, I recommend different books. Oh, they tell me that they have studied, they have done those things, and yet you can tell that they're not displaying it because they're not applying it on themselves. So it's very important to be humble, to be patient, and to keep behaving in ways that are going to reflect the things we have learned from whatever books. But yes, it's a very powerful book if you can put it into practice. Mansmith, fixed mindset, excellence is by birth. Growth mindset, excellence can be grown and learned. Yes. And also, excellence is a very common word that a lot of people do. You don't need about excellence. Excellence, it means I need to be the best. I need to be perfect. I need to show them. I need to impress. I need to be excellent. And to me, it shows a lot of insecurity. I would suggest you kindly just focus on growth. It doesn't have to be excellent. It's about better, right? Little baby step, one moment at a time, every day of your life. It's ongoing. We're always going to get better. If you use excellence as a word, I understand where you're coming from, but to me, it really shows that you want to show people, and you don't have to show anything to anyone. It's about your own personal journey and how you're going to feel better about yourself and be more compassionate, more clear mentally, more impactful positively to the people in your life. So just to say, it's not a big deal. But for me, words says a lot, and also that's all that I get from you. I don't see your face or I don't hear your voice, so I'm going to use every single word that I get from you. And so I'd say don't try to pursue excellence. Do what feels right. Excellence means you want to be the best. Wanting to be the best is what your ego wants. Doing what feels right is what your higher self wants. And so, and as you do that, here's the thing. The paradox of this is that as you do what feels right, you will become the best anyway. Whether you want it or not, it's just going to happen. But you don't become the best by thinking about wanting to become the best. You become the best by enjoying what you do and being humble and patient. And that's it. I hope it makes sense, Mansmith. Pumpkin Puff. I grew up in a yelling household, plus a mostly absent narcissist father. Okay. Parents fought a lot, so I tend to yell when I get angry, which shuts my husband down. I tried not to, but I feel like a feral animal. Okay, so so thank you for being transparent, but it's very often the case. Whatever we have experienced in childhood, we're going to download this as a normality, and we're going to behave in the same way. Just 1 second, please. And so if our parents have been very yelling, what we're going to think as a child is, when my parents are facing adversity, what is their coping mechanism? What do we behave? They yell. So now you're going to think and learn. So when it happens to me, I'm going to have to yell as well. And just like that, we copy the behavior from our parents. The way they talk to us, the way they talk to themselves, the way they talk to others is going to be the way we talk to ourselves, and very often also the way we talk to others. I can give you an example. For a long time in my life, whenever I would be clumsy, I would tell myself, why did I do that? I'm a fucking idiot. What's wrong with me? I would be so mean and angry and aggressive towards myself. And I realized that it's because this is how I've been spoken to when I was a child. And I don't have to. I can be kind to myself. And now I've been kind many years. If I'm clumsy, I'm going to say, okay, no problem. It happens. Let's clean that mess and move on with the day. There's no need for drama. But everything that we do is very often indeed just a habit that we are continuing because we haven't addressed that yet. So you can change this, right? So it depends. It depends on how bad it is, on whether or not you have some baggage, some things to address. But if you don't have too much baggage, you can address this from here. Whenever that you are going to unleash yourself, you may not be able to do it at this point in time. Let the anger out. But then right after, raise that awareness, breathe mindfully to come back to a place of mental clarity. You need to come out from that state of rage. And then once you're out, you can apologize. You can say to your husband, I'm so sorry. It happened again. I don't mean that. I never meant that. Please be patient with me. I want to change. I hate being that person. And then as you do that, after that, you can also reflect on that and learn about emotional intelligence, learn how to feel things, learn how to address which part of yourself exists for whatever reason, learn how to find your triggers, the beliefs that are limiting you, that are getting you to react like that. Do all that work, and eventually that will get you better emotions when you're facing the same situations. When it happens, it's your program. So there's nothing you can do about it. You can't choose in that moment, not just yet. You can't choose, I'm going to respond and be zen. A lot of people say that you shouldn't react emotionally. You should choose to respond intellectually or intelligently. And this is rubbish, because when we react, it's always emotional. All reactions are emotional. And what it means is that they are subconscious, they are programmed within us, they are automatic. And unless we address the triggers and the program itself, that's all that we will get in this moment. And so what you want to do is to realize this so that you don't beat yourself up. You don't tell yourself, I'm wrong, I shouldn't. It's not your fault, it's your program. It's the result of your whole life. You have not upgraded this just yet. And so in that moment when it happens, my advice to you is to, if you can, go out. Leave the room, leave the situation. Feel, it's happening, move away and go for a walk. Get out of that place. And then as you walk, do some deep breathing, mindful breathing. So check out box breathing, for instance. Go on Google, box breathing or 478. Any type of mindful breathing to reset your nervous system, to bring you back from a state of emotional rage and losing control and fighting back protection, defense, to a place of mental clarity. And eventually when you're back there, tell yourself, it happened again. And then find a way to speak to your husband and apologize and say, this is, you know me, I don't want to be like that, please forgive me. And learn how to apologize also. Learn how to apologize deeply and sincerely so he gets it. And have that conversation and work on your triggers and belief. Okay? Does it help, Pumpkin Puff? Jose, I'm sorry. Okay, thank you, Jose. Thank you so much. I appreciate and I welcome your apology. Sometimes we say the wrong things because we're not sure. But please, if you want me to talk about anything that I could help you with, by any means, do. I would love to. I would love this. And thank you for this. Pumpkins, I have a tendency to try super hard for everything, burn out, and when I finally express my feelings, I just explode, and then I feel incredibly guilty. Yes, because of the belief that you have. And so the belief could be, so let me try to, I'm going to give you some guess, right? I could be wrong, correct me, but it's just a guess. I have a tendency to try super hard for everything. So the first thing that comes to mind is that unconditional love is not available to me. My worth is reflected in my productivity. I must do certain things. I must behave in a certain way. I must come across as a certain way. Otherwise, I'm not good enough and I will not get the love that I want. So I'm trying super hard for everything. For some people, they don't need to try hard. They're just themselves. But you have to try hard because it's not enough. Maybe when you're a child, you had to make your parents proud or anything like that. And so because of that, you have to try hard. You have to be productive. Maybe you're a high achiever. Maybe you're a people pleaser. There's so many things that you could be. But all of those responses from the past are born from a feeling of not enoughness. So you are overcompensating. So this is the first belief that you want to address because it's just a belief. Next, burnout. Okay, so we burn out when we have a sort of belief and mindset, typically, of course. And when I finally express my feelings, I just explode. Okay, so that's because you have repressed your feelings. Instead of speaking out from the beginning, you acted in ways that you felt would give you some love. But because it didn't work, at some point, all that energy has been building up like in a pressure cooker and then it's coming out. You can't hold it back anymore. And this is it. Emotions never go anywhere. They need to be expressed. If you repress some of your emotions, anything to do with anything at all, fear, shame, you may repress anger. So very often, women, so I'm assuming that you're a woman, I could be wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, but very often women are repressing their anger because society teaches them that it's not ladylike to be angry. And so because of that, a lot of women in a patriarchal society are going to not speak out their truth, not show their frustration, not be angry, not unleash. They're holding everything back. And they're going to do what you do, please, trying to do all those things to be loved. And it's not working, and it's not working, and at some point, it's too much. And that comes out. And because it's been held back, guess what? The intensity is much greater. And that's how you create a sin, and now you feel guilty about yourself because you're thinking, wow, why did I do that for? From their perspective, it came out of nowhere because they've taken you for granted, because it's the normal way you behave with those people. So they've never seen that coming, and now they're going to blame you. What's wrong with you? Does it make sense, Pumpkin? It's all very normal. We can talk about this if you want, but I just want to explain you first the mechanisms as to how and why it happens. And do correct me if I'm wrong. Kay Stevens, hey Didi, good to see you again. Thank you, Kay Stevens. Jose, message retracted. Okay, thank you, Jose. Pumpkins, unfortunately, do have quite a bit of baggage. I either have CPTSD or PTSD and possibly BPD or bipolar. Someone in my family has bipolar, I am unsure, but my reactions definitely feel extreme. Okay, so that sounds like it. That sounds like it. Yeah, that sounds like it. And so if you have any of those things, get yourself diagnosed. Learn to know yourself. Because if you realize that you have any condition or more than one, then you have something that you can work on. You know what to do. You know what to explore. You can learn about yourself and change some things. Absolutely. Pumpkin, I'm either in a great mood or numb or mad. Yes, that sounds like it. Yeah, absolutely. Any or all of the above could absolutely be the underlying reason as to why you feel like that, and it makes absolute sense. Yeah. JC, hi Didi. If you are going to do live chats, you may need to get a YouTube mod so they can review, scan, remove troll post. We appreciate your presence and work that you do. Thank you very much. I didn't know there was such thing, so I'll check it out. Thank you for teaching me something. So it's called a YouTube mod so that they can review and scan and remove the troll post. All right, okay. I don't know how to do this, but if I come across something, hopefully I'll learn how to do this. Thank you. Thank you. But again, to be honest with you, I understand the nature of social media and there are also people out there. And also understand that people who are trolling, there are also people who suffer. Yeah. The way they come across is not nice, and I need to protect everyone else from them. But I also have compassion for them. I genuinely do. I used to troll in real life because borderline personality disorder, amongst other things. And so I understand why some people do what they do. They don't have anything else to do. They have a lot of energy, frustration, negativity. They need to unleash it in any which way. And so if that's what they do, that's what they do. I don't take things personally anymore. But the only reason I'm addressing these things is because I want to make sure that everyone else feels safe. What I can accept and understand and not feel affected by, not everyone can. I'm a therapist and I've been working on myself for many years, and I understand that most people would react. And so that's why I do this. But also I want to give a chance to people. So like, Jose, if you're still here, again, I genuinely have compassion for you and I would love to help you out, whatever that you want to talk about, and anyone else, you know. So, but thank you for the advice, JC Franco. Pumpkin Puff. Yes, I was a huge people pleaser for most of my life, okay? So people pleasing, you know that it's a trauma response. It's what we call phone. Fight, flight, freeze, and phone. So to please and appease and pacify a threat by going along with the abuser. Or if it's not abuse, if it's neglect, then we are going to please people and behave a certain way because it's the only way that we believe can give us the attention, therefore the love of whom matter to us, or caregivers. So we transfer that into our relationship with everyone else in our life. And very often, what I would say about this is that we don't realize that people pleasing doesn't come from a place of love. It comes from a place of fear and protection. And this is important because as long as we are people pleasing, we are reinforcing the dynamic of fear and feeling that we live indeed in a hostile world that we must always be protected against. We're reinforcing that illusion of separation. And we are fueling the anxiety. The anxiety and / or the propensity to react, the stress, to react to our environment. People who have unhealed trauma are very reactive. So it's very important because everyone, again, don't realize this, and they're criticizing those who get triggered and offended, and they don't realize that why are you triggered? Because they feel unsafe. And so instead of mocking them like nasty bullies in the schoolyard, we could have empathy for them. Why did you react? We're not all able to do this, but if we can realize this, it makes it more possible. Lynn at JC Franco. Totally agree. came on to say the same thing. Okay, thank you. Walker Dude, in conflict. My wife assumes my intention and feelings and my perspective is convenient or an excuse. She leaves the room and I want to respect her boundary, but I'm left misjudged. I don't want her to spend hours festering negative feelings based on reasoning she thinks I have. So you need her to communicate in a way that satisfies you and her. You need to tell her how it is for you. At this point in time, again, this is people pleasers behavior from what I see, just based on those words. You care about how she feels, but you're not caring about how you feel. And you're not caring about your relationship. It's just about you saving the appearance, making sure that everything is fine. This is what people pleasers do, walking on eggshells and avoiding any conflict. I don't want them to feel bad. And so what I would say to you is learn how to sit down, express yourself, and talk to her so that you are seen, so that you are heard at an equal level. You are the same. In a relationship, we should be at the same level. Not of everything, but we should have the same sort of energy so we can actually do something together in good partnership. It's like a team. Right? But if there's a discrepancy, now there's an imbalance, and that's a problem. Because we are no more or less than repeating the imbalance that we have experienced ourselves in our childhood. And so you have an imbalance, she has one, and you have found each other because you're completing each other's narrative. And so what you can do is to learn how to speak to her and say, because the truth of the matter is that you could be feeding her own imbalance. Maybe she's got a personality disorder, and the more you are abiding and complying, the more you're allowing her to stay trapped into that system that doesn't work for her. And in the meantime, you're also hurting yourself. You're also creating a relationship that is becoming more and more and more the same, and that is not helping neither you nor her. Right? And so what I'd say is learn how to know yourself, learn how to communicate, and learn how to get your wife to be on the same wavelength. And this is a journey. You need to work on healing together. But you have to have transparency, and you need to create some boundaries where you are both in a good place. Boundaries is creating a zone. It's like a neutral zone. It's like Switzerland. You're creating a space where we are both safe. And hopefully you can learn how to express yourself without fearing any of her lashing out, counterattack. So there's a lot of elements. You need to learn how to say certain things, but you also need to find a way to express yourself. So it's a personal journey that is quite extensive. But yes, communication and also compassion towards yourself, not just her. More often than not, we need to focus on others. For you, it's the other way around. But it's the same. Compassion to self and others is very important. And understanding that not only she deserves happiness, but so do you. So do you. And also, you can understand that she comes from a place because of X, Y, Z. And it's the same with you. In any relationship, if we can realize that that person is just a human being going through their things just like me, then we can learn how to heal. The problem in a relationship is that in that moment, when we're emotional, when we're conflictual, when we're clashing, that person is no longer our partner. That person is our enemy. That person is that parent, or that bully, or that teacher, or that person who hurt us in the past. That person is that person in that moment. It's a monster. So we need to protect, we need to defend, we need to counterattack, or in your case, I need to phone, I need to please. But it's not a healthy and balanced dynamic. And so, yeah, did anything that I said help, work, or good? Do you want to expand on this, please? If you're telling me that she may spend hours festering negative thoughts, she has some baggage, for sure. But we don't fix things by avoiding them or ignoring them. Awareness is where everything starts. So there's got to be conversation made, but how you're going to conduct those conversations and what sort of conversation you're going to have is for you to explore through your own journey. I hope it helps. Worker dude. Jose Antonio, man, I'm seriously heartbroken. Okay, let's talk about this. For 6 months already, the person was loving, caring, and does not know anything about me. Okay, so do you want to tell me more about this, please? I am heartbroken for 6 months. What are we talking about? Do you love someone and that person doesn't love you back? Or have you broken up? Or have you lost that someone because they passed away? Which one is it, please? Let me read it one last time, and hopefully I will have more information from you. I'm heartbroken for 6 months already. The person was loving, caring, and does not know anything about me. Are you in love with someone and that person doesn't know about you? Is that what you're saying? Please confirm this for me, and I can share some personal suggestions. K. Stevens, true about overcompensation, about achieving and impressing someone. Luckily, I was disgusted. I was disgusted with showing off and could never do it perfectly, and stage fright as a child damaged my ambition. Stage fright? What are we talking about? Are you talking about bodybuilding competitions or something like that? Mayo Gang. Hello, Mayo Gang. I'm about to go to bed, so I will listen to Marisa Peer hitting Vortex. Okay, good on you. Good on you. So Marisa Peer is the person that created the system of RTT, which is the protocol that I use with my clients in my practice. So online, she also offers all sort of pre-recorded guided meditation, and one of them is the healing vortex. It's a protocol that we use also with our clients to heal whichever part of the body must be healed by visualizing a vortex sucking away our disease away. So good on you. Enjoy this, my gang. Pumpkin Puff. At some point, I switched from being a people pleaser to just being mad. I'm not sure if that's from resentment or wanting to have a sense of control for my own life over for others' benefit. So, so basically, we have different systems to deal with threat when we're in survival mode. Fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. Fawn is only one of them. And so, getting mad, it's fight. Now you're reversing to another system, right? We don't just use one system. We can use all of them. But we tend to prefer one because it's the one that works best for us. And so, subconscious mind remembers this. But if you're in survival mode, you may also fight, flight, or freeze. So fight, aggression, fighting back, getting mad, right? Flight, running away, avoiding, and freeze, dissociating. When you're freezing, you may be here, but your mind is not there because it's easier for you not to be there, not to witness whatever was happening to you then. And so that's when we start to create habits of depersonalization, derealization, dissociations. We're freezing. And so you have found, and now every now and then you're also fighting back. You're also being aggressive, and it's another system, but we use when we're on survival mode. So maybe you have evolved into thinking fighting is a better system, or maybe you're going to go back and forth. At some point, I switched from being a people pleaser to just being mad. I'm not sure if that's from resentment. So it's not resentment, it's just that it's a natural response from your unconscious program. We are all born with that system. It's what gets us to survive. We have some, it's what we call our instinct. Fear and aggression are absolutely the most important tool we're born with to make it into this world. And then comes along the rest, the other systems. K. Stevens, true about people pleasing. Mother was codependent and said she was. At time, didn't know how harmful that behavior was as modeled to me. I have to catch that behavior and focus on myself. Yes, yes, yes. So whenever you're going to people please, catch yourself and remind yourself, I was going to say yes. Now, listen to your body. Do I really want to do that thing because I care for that person, because it makes me happy to do that thing for them? Or am I doing this begrudgingly because it's your habit? If it doesn't come from a place of love, don't do it. People pleasers do this to protect themselves from rejection, from creating situations that they may not be able to handle. And so it's coming from a place of fear. People pleasers, they don't do things because they want people to be happy. They do this so they can regulate their own nervous system. People pleasing regulates your nervous system. It literally does that. And so just learn how to say no. No, with a smile. But say no. No is the most important word that you can learn if you're a people pleaser. It's also the first word that we learn as a baby. And so you have something to catch up. But it's possible. Learn how to say no in a polite way, in a nice way. It's going to be challenging, especially for people who know you already. But you can find a way to incorporate this. Tell yourself, self first is not selfish. I'm doing this for me because I deserve this. I'm safe. And also, they will teach you how to choose how to be genuinely kind when you want to be kind. Not because you feel that you have to be a good person, have to be a good citizen, have to be a good boy or a good girl. Fuck that. Pardon my French. F that, right? You want to be happy, you want to feel good. And as you feel good, that's how we become a better person as well. But it goes in that order. So yes, good on you for the self-awareness, Kay. Walker Dude, thank you. How do I practice speaking kindly? I speak in a natural way, but could be read as negative. I need to be mindful during conflict or I become defensive. So it depends, because we're all different. For some of us, this is the way we come across. So I don't know if you are on the spectrum of anything, but for instance, my husband is autistic, and the way he speaks can be perceived as super rude, super inconsiderate, no empathy, super cold. And I suffered from that a long time because we didn't know that he had autism. Now that we know, since the pandemic, everything makes sense and it's much more easier. But some of us were not able, the way we express ourselves will come across as such, right? And you say also, during conflict, I become defensive. It's also something that is not just for autistic people, but it's quite prominent. When we are on the spectrum, there's an element of always protecting and taking things personally and freaking out for the littlest things. And so there could be that. I'm not diagnosing you. I don't know you, right? But I just want to explore that eventuality. There could be maybe the fact that you have you are on the spectrum of something that is going to alter the way you communicate. And so if you don't have this, then you can learn to communicate. And how do we do that? It's a long thing. It's different for everyone. But I won't be able to tell you anything because it's too big a subject. If you can ask me something specific, I can address that specific thing now. But how do you learn how to communicate better? Let me try to think about something. You need to have empathy and to connect emotionally. So here's the answer. You need to learn about emotional intelligence. Communication is about the most important and unspoken aspect of communication is the emotions. The way we say things, the energy that we radiate, or body language, or facial expression, the tone of our voice, all of those things are more important than the words we say. And so communication is about learning how to feel, learning how to understand how your body works, and learning how others also are doing that so that you can connect at a deeper and emotional level. I hope it helps. I know it's vague, but essentially, it's actually a very good question because it gets me to think about that answer. But the most important aspect of communication is the emotional aspect. We are 95% emotions and 5% cognitive. And so it's why it's so important. When you talk to people, and your wife would say that, it's not what you said, it's how you said it. And it's very much that. Typically, so I'm just going to assume, I could be wrong, but if you are a man, men in a patriarchal society tend to focus on what is right or wrong. This is logic, this is no nonsense, right, wrong. Whereas, generally speaking, in a patriarchal society, women are more sensitive about the emotions. It's what feels right. How does it feel like? The truth of the matter is that men or women, and regardless of your education and system, here we are all creatures of emotions. So the difference is that some people will repress the emotions, but we will still have some response, even if we are subconscious, to feel that are being projected as emotional energy. And so what it means is that when you talk to people, the one most important element of it is whether or not they feel safe. If they're feeling judged, if they're feeling pushed to the button against the corner, now we can to react intuitively with protection, defensiveness, explanation, justifying, fighting back. And so now you're getting me to find an answer to your question. What is the most important thing about communication? Learn about making sure that people feel that you're on their side, right? If you're going to say something, but you have a little bit of a smirk, you're a bit cynical, you're mocking them, they will feel it. And they will think, that person is attacking me, they're the enemy. And it's all subconscious, but that will absolutely affect their subsequent emotional reactions. And so focus on learning about emotional intelligence and realize that we are all, and if you're on the spectrum, it's going to be more challenging, I gotta say, but it's possible. We can all learn anything with time and with a discipline, focus. And so yes, and this goes for everyone. When we don't realize that when we talk to people, the one thing that gets people to like you is whether or not they feel that you belong to the same tribe. Are they nice? Are they kind? Are they judging me, or are they just what you see is what you get? Very often, people who are, let's say, a little bit simple, they are very much liked. People who are saying, let's say, who are very, how do you say, like me, with ADHD. Sometimes I say abrupt things, and what you see is what you get. And when people see that, they like it, because they feel that that person is not trying to hide a secret agenda to stab me behind the back. Right? People who don't care about things, they're radiating also confidence. I am me. I'm authentic. I don't give an F about what people think about me. So those people are likable. People are trying to be perfect, on the other hand. I've got to come across who can feel that they're making an effort because they come from a place of insecurity. So now, if you have something to hide, what else are they trying to hide? So now we're going to find it hard to connect with them. And so emotional intelligence is realizing all of those things and more. And if we can do this, then we can really learn how to be ourselves, and people will feel that, and the right people will connect with you. Some people may have a problem with that as well, depending on their mental and emotional setup. But yeah, I hope it helps. What do you think about this? That was for Walker Dude. How do I practice speaking kindly? You don't practice speaking kindly. You practice being kind to yourself. And as you are kind to yourself, then you can be kind to others. And as you are kind to others, then you will naturally speak to them with kindness. Okay? There's a difference between what you do and how you feel. So again, back to emotional intelligence. You don't want to learn how to speak kindly. You want to learn how to be kind. That's different, right? There's a difference between being nice and being kind. So again, people pleasers are being nice. They're learning how to speak kindly. They're trying to be nice. But being nice is not the same as being kind. Being nice is, I'm saving the appearance. Everyone is happy, hunky-dory. But if someone really needs my help, I'm not there for them. Being kind is, if you really need me, I'm going to be there for you. Even if sometimes I can come across as rude. That's the difference. It's not about the appearance. And so it's not about learning how to speak kindly. Just learn how to be kind to yourself, how to see people through the eyes of compassion and love and acceptance and curiosity. Be curious about them instead of judging them. What's wrong with them? Why did they do that? Why did she speak to me like that? Operate what we call empathetic curiosity. What could be the reason as to why she behaved like that? Instead of thinking that it's got to be with me, let's find out. Let's talk about it. I'm sorry that you feel like that. What made you feel like that? I'm sorry that what I said get you to feel like that. Why is that? Because I never meant to get you to feel like that. I hope it helps. Do ask me more if you want. It's a good conversation. Pumpkin Puff. I appreciate how well you understand the feelings that arise from arguments. It is true that it feels like they become your enemy, your bully, like they're against you instead of just communicating. Yes. We'll do that. But I mean, for some of us who have conditions like borderline personality disorder, like me, and who have done work on themselves, it's so obvious. We really, in those moments, we see someone else. And so what you can do is to remind yourself that that person is not the enemy. That person is my spouse, my partner, the person that I chose to love because of all the good quality that we have, that I can remind myself of right here, right now. Jose Antonio, the person doesn't not have a clue that happened. She was caring and really nice to me anyway. Ballet and doing it perfectly. So are you saying that you're in love with someone who doesn't know that you're in love with? Is it what you're saying, Jose? You love someone, but she doesn't know about it. And what is it? You want to get her attention? Is that what you're saying? Please confirm this for me. K, ballet and doing it perfectly. Oh no, this is from K. This is not from Jose. Sorry, I thought Jose was in love with a ballet dancer. So Jose, she was caring and really nice to me anyway. So that's one conversation. The next one, K. Okay, yeah. Move on. I get it. Pumpkin, how do you work towards a safe space for communication? By doing what we've done. First, see your partner. So no, first, you need to be in a state where you can communicate. And so if you are in a state of protection, anger, a very emotional state, then in that moment, you are the child. You are not the adult. You're emotional. The child is an emotional mind. Your emotional mind is the child. It's the same thing. When we talk about the inner child, it's your subconscious mind, it's your body. It's what you feel, basically. And so when you feel angry, you're feeling something. In that moment, your emotional mind has taken over. So what you want to do is to find a way to come from here back to here. This is the rational, calm, logical, thinking mind. This is the adult mind. And so the first thing you want to do is to come out of the situation, allow for the bad energy to disperse. So you can walk, or your partner can walk, or both of you, change room, and then do some breathing. Do some mindful breathing. Check it out. Go on Google, either box breathing or 478 plus. And again, that video, I'm going to leave it behind. So if you want to retrieve information, you can always replay all the lives that I do on YouTube. Breathe until you are able to think clearly again, as opposed to see everything in red. And then once you are back into that place of mental clarity, the both of you, you can sit down and you can talk. And you can talk, and you want to both look at each other through the eyes of love. Instead of seeing the enemy, see your partner, and make sure that your partner sees you also as who you are, as opposed to their own monster from their own past. Right? And then touch hand, give a hug, have a connection physically, and then talk, and then remind yourself that you are in it together. You are on a healing journey that you can do together, both individually and collectively as a couple. Does it help, Pumpkin? Boombox, hello, sir. Love from India. Thank you so much, Boombox. Hello. Wow, it's a long way. Thank you. Kay, thank you for explaining that. And yes, F that. Yes. Kay, if I may ask, what type of treatment do you offer for healing traumatic experiences? I have one that is stubborn and stuck. Okay, let's talk about this. So I use RTT. RTT is a blend of hypnosis, regression, and belief reframing at a subconscious level. And so what we do, when you have a trauma, it is because something happened to you in childhood that was overwhelming. You had too much stress, too much distress, too much fear, too much pain, too much discomfort, too much of something that you were not able to regulate. So your nervous system has been all over the place. And so what your mind did, it created a system to protect you from this happening again. So if you've been overwhelmed by something, it could be abuse or neglect. If you didn't get the love that you needed and you felt unsafe, it is a small t trauma, and it's the same. It creates as much problems over the long term. And so what you want to do is to realize that when this happens, your mind is always constantly adapting and adjusting to everything. So now, as a child, or even as an adult, if you have PTSD, your mind is going to come up with a system to make sure that you are ready if that thing ever happens again, because you have not been given a system. So you have to come up with something yourself. And that system is a belief system. It's a belief that, if this happens, this will happen. And so I must do this to prevent this to happen, to keep myself safe. And so now the mind is going to create a lot of emotional triggers that are going to create some hormones in your body, some neurotransmitters in your brain, some chemical reactions to get your body to react. So either and both physically and emotionally. And so basically, all of our life, we go through life and we react to the triggers that exist in the world. But the way we react will be down to our belief. It will be down to our emotional triggers because of that trauma, because of that experience. And so with RTT, we go back in the memories of your past through the process of hypnosis. And because there's no past to go back to, where we're going really is we don't go back into the past. We go back to how you see yourself in relation to your relationship with that episode from the past. And so as we do this, I change the energy of those episodes. I change the emotional intensity. I change the interpretation. When you were a child, it was normal for you to feel like that. But now it's different. You are no longer a child. Things have changed. And so I'm changing that emotional energy so that every time you're going to think about that memory again, you're not going to feel disempowered again. Your memories are always going to stay with you because they are who you are within your vast subconscious mind, but you don't need to play it again. It can stay in the background of your archives and doesn't need to be replayed again. And here's the thing, because there's no past, when we change your relationship with your past, we are changing your personality. We are telling your mind, now that I'm an adult, if that happened again, if that thing that created trauma happened to me again, what can I do? I can use my intelligence. I can use my wisdom, my knowledge, my experience, my resources, my freedom. I can use all those things that I didn't have when I was a child. So what it means is that now that I'm reminded that I can do this from here, I don't need the trauma anymore. I don't need the symptoms of the trauma. I don't need the constant state of hypervigilance. I don't need the paranoia. I don't need the things that are happening in my body as a result of that, of those chronic illnesses, whatever they may be. And so we are disarming the emotional triggers from the subconscious mind and the belief system, the negative belief that have created all the problems that we have today. And this is what we do. And after that, I create a bespoke audio recording to reinforce the new neural pathways in our brain that have to do with the new belief. Instead of believing, for instance, I'm not enough, it's going to be I am enough. If you believe I'm not worthy, I am worthy, and so forth and so on. I'm not lovable, I am lovable. I'm not capable, I am capable. And eventually, over time, by playing that recording and also by working on now other aspects of our mind, cognitive aspect, we can change the whole program. But the first element about RTT is to address the emotional blocks, the main things, which is the most important because when it comes to trauma, the problem is not in your head, it's in your nervous system, it's in your body. So spending your life here will not change anything. It may explain some things from an intellectual perspective, but it's not going to help you feel any differently. And so there are different types of therapies. RTT is a transformative one. It changes the way you feel. And on the top of that, once you have addressed that, we have created a little opening, a little bridge into the subconscious mind. And so that's when I also teach about how to change our mindset, the way we think, change the perspective we have of things. And eventually, we have addressed here and there in regards to your problem. I hope it makes sense. And trauma can absolutely be addressed. When you say that they're stubborn and they stick, it's normal. All trauma do. It's whether we are conscious of them or not. Some of us, we are repressing it so much, we're ignoring it. We're distracting ourselves from it. We're thinking that it's somehow normal, but it's still there. It's always stuck. Trauma are how our body and mind adapt to something and how we have become what they are because of that. So all we need to do is to change the program because we are constantly changing and adapting to new situations. Our brain is literally designed for that. So there's nothing that we can't undo and new habits that we can develop, including habits of thought, habits of emotions, and then furthermore, habits of actions and reactions. Thank you for that. So yes, does it help? Explicit. Often get anxious thinking, I'm wasting my life from the outside. It probably looks like I have everything, But nights like this, when plans fall through and I'm just home, I feel like I'm losing time. Okay, let's talk about this. There's another comment. I don't know why, but I constantly feel like I should be doing more. It makes it hard to enjoy anything, even when things are objectively fine. Okay, let's talk about this. So let me read it again to make sure that I don't miss out on anything. Often get anxious thinking, I am wasting my life. Okay, so this is a belief that many of us have. And we believe that our life is only good if we behave in a certain way, if we do certain things, if we demonstrate, if we prove certain things to some people. So it's just a belief. You believe that your life is not enough to justify itself. You are not enough as a person to justify your existence. But we should be. We're here to experience ourselves in this life. And anything about it is all valid and important. But if we believe that I must be doing this, it's because we've been told that in childhood. You must be the first in class. You must be better than everyone. You must make us proud, and so forth and so on. And so now we become a high achiever. We put our value and our worth on our productivity, on our role in the family. I'm a provider, for instance. I have to be successful. I can never show weakness. And because of that, we are caught into a train of thought that doesn't serve us our happiness. You are never wasting your life. The reason why you think that you're wasting your life is because you have a thought, a voice in your mind that is telling you, you're wasting your life, you're wasting your life, I am wasting my life. And what you want to realize is that that voice is not your voice. It's the voice of your parents. It's the voice of your teachers. It's the voice of whoever you looked up to. It's the voice of all of them. You have their voice that echoing in your head, going, you're wasting your life. Don't be so lazy. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your life. And maybe they didn't tell you that. Maybe that's how they behaved. Maybe you looked at them, you observed them, you're one child, and they're thinking, I'm wasting my life. So you're thinking, okay, they think that they're wasting their life. And now you are absorbing that, and you have become that as well. It can be both, it can be more, but essentially, it's not true. And it's just a narrative that you have in your mind because of X, Y, Z, and you can't change this, right? You're never wasting your life, because what is your life? You are into this life to experience what it is to be you. That's it. To find out what it is to be a human being and to make the most of whatever you've been given all throughout your life. That's what your life is about. You've got nothing to prove to anyone. You've got nothing to no boxes to tick. This is all your ego. This is what we believe because other people say so. You don't have to believe that. You can accept that I am enough. I appreciate the little things in life. I'm happy and I can practice gratitude. Instead of thinking I'm not enough until you may be a perfectionist. And perfectionism is a terrible illness. So let me carry on. From the outside, it probably looks like I have everything, but when plans fall through, I'm just home, I feel like I'm losing time. So again, from the outside, this is exactly what it is. From the outside, it seems perfect because you have worked only on your outside, not on your inside. All the motivations that you had all your life were externally driven. I must have rewards. I must have achievements. I must be celebrated. I must have praises. And also, I must not suffer from rejection and judgment. And so all of the rewards have been external. And so from the outside, it looks good. But you never spend time working on your inside. What feels right to me? What makes me happy? What has any significance to me? Right? And this is what you want to do. You want to turn this around and focus on your internal rewards. What matters to you? Practice meditation, inner peace, mindfulness, practice self-love, practice doing things that you enjoy. All of these things will reconnect you with that part of you that is so important. And forget about the external. You don't have anything to prove to anyone. But again, it's not easy because we are programmed. So we can talk about this if you want. Let me read the last part of your comment. I don't know why, but I constantly feel like I should be doing more. Yes. Because you're living with the guilt, the shame. You're not enough. Don't be so lazy. Do more. No, this is their illness. You don't need to have it as well. You know, people suffer from that in your life, around you. And now you have picked it. You picked it up on them. You don't have to. You don't have to. You can learn to let it go. You can choose, okay, I understand. I'm going to have compassion for them. It's not their fault. They did what they could and they suffer from that as well. But I don't have to suffer from it too. It makes it hard to enjoy anything, even when things are objectively fine. This is the thing. Things are not objectively fine. There's no such thing as objective. Objective is only what people call the general consensus of those who are, let's say, logical. But the logic world is only one aspect of your experience. The one that is affecting you is not logic, it's emotional. Your emotional world is telling you something horrible. You're having emotional experiences that are totally different from the objective. So it doesn't matter. F the objective, what you feel is more important, right? Learn how to reconnect with yourself and learn how to prioritize feeling good as opposed to doing the right thing. Your head, based on the program, is going to tell you, you must do this, you must do that, this is good, this is bad, this is right, this is wrong. Your heart, your body just want one thing. I want to feel good. I want to feel right. I want to feel at peace. I want to feel safe. I want to feel connected. I want to feel inspired. You know. Does it help? Explicit. Do you want to continue that conversation deeper if you want? Okay, Stevens, thank you. Pumpkin, yes, I appreciate everything you're saying. This is very helpful. Fantastic. Thank you, Pumpkin. Thank you. I've been in a darker place recently because of my past and how I respond in the present, and I'm ready to work on healing. Fantastic. Keep going, Pumpkin Puff. I believe in you. Rosie, I've just been on a training course teaching how to respond instead of react. So how do they teach you how to respond instead of react? Because you can't do this. This is the thing. If we are suffering from an emotional outburst, in the moment we cannot choose to respond because all reactions are emotional, therefore subconscious. What we can do is to work on it afterward, not in the moment. We can address the triggers, we can address the history, we can address the belief system, so that now in the future, as we do this more and more, if we are facing the same situation, we are more able then to create a space and to maybe have more options as to how we're going to react to that emotionally. I hope it makes sense. But if you want to share with me how they explain it, maybe I think maybe I'm sure there are systems and I can see even how it works, but I think the way it's presented is wrong, because the danger is that people are going to believe that everyone is choosing to react emotionally instead of responding logically. And so what does it mean? Is basically seeing that some people are better than others. And this is wrong. This is the toxicity of that narrative. We're all trying our best. We don't want to say to people, oh, you're weak, or you're not trying hard enough. No, we all do what we can. And so no one chooses to respond or react. We just react because that's the only way we know how to react. And eventually, as we learn how to do other things in time, then we can incorporate some other elements. Right? This is my perspective. I hope it makes sense. But if you're happy to share with us what you've learned, or we can discuss this as well. Kay Stevens, many of our parents were wasting our lives. Thank you, Angel. We're enough just the way we are, content. Yes, they're not wasting our life. Many of our parents were living their lives, but because they carried the trauma from their own parents, then they affected you, right? They didn't do it because they wanted to. Again, they don't choose, I'm going to be a parent, I'm going to ruin my children's lives. I'm going to hurt them because I've got the choice. I can choose to be kind or I can choose to be terrible. I'm choosing to be terrible. No, they're doing what they can. They suffer from it first and foremost, and then they pass it on to you and you suffer from it as well. Now, when you go for therapy, it's important to address this and realize that they did hurt you indeed. However, this is only the first phase. First phase, let go of the emotional resentment. Right? Don't believe that it's your fault anymore. But then the next phase, when and if you're ready for that, is to forgive them by realizing that they didn't do it on purpose. No one does anything on purpose. They did it because this is what they had to deal with. This was their life. And you, by healing yourself, you're putting an end to generational trauma that have been there for many, 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 many generations. And this is why it's so important to do this, not just for ourselves. We are changing the world, literally, because now we're going to make sure that the next generations, whether we're a parent or just a person with younger people, the next generation are not going to be that much burdened than the previous ones. Right? We're working on cleaning off all those residues from the past. Does it work? Okay. You don't want to believe that your parents did it for you. They did it because that was very journey, was all very new, and they might have hurt you very badly. I totally support that, and I understand. And it's important to also admit this and to recognize this and to make them accountable. But they didn't do it because of you, for you, or at you. They did it because of them, and you happen to be there. You were a part of their story, and yeah, I hope it helps. Okay, Pumpkin. Is the desire to grow only experienced by people with trauma because we feel outcasted to change, or is it just easier to not work on ourselves? It's not a matter of easy or not easy. It's what comes to us, whether in relation to our stage of readiness. We all have different journey, and for some of us, we will have some self-awareness and we explore things about ourselves. And some others, very not, and there are many reasons as to why, yes or no. It's not this or that. It's not black or white. There's not two boxes. It's really, we all have a different adventure and everyone is different. And some of us will experience self-awareness because we've been hurt. Some of us will have self-awareness without having to go through hurt. Some of us will be hurt and will not change. Some of us will not be hurt and will not change either. So all configuration exists and more. It's about just us focusing on our journey and accepting that everyone is on their own personal journey. It's got nothing to do with us. We can accept who we're going to have, but we don't want to change people. We want to guide them, to show them how we would rather have things, and we're going to decide who we're going to keep in our lives. But we don't want to change people around us because they have their own journey. It's for them to do. We cannot change anyone anyway. Not any more than anyone can change us. People don't change people. We change ourselves when we're ready, and people happen to be there. They can influence us, but we don't change people. And so the desire to grow is just a result of the randomness of the unfolding of our lives, and it's different for everyone. But if we're going to be spiritual about it, I could say that my perspective on that is that I believe that those of us who have been through a very difficult start in life and get better in the second part, I believe that we're here, we are at a more evolved level of self-awareness. So I believe in reincarnation. So I believe that people who have been through a lot of hard things and are getting better, we have been in this life many times. And we explored all the other stuff. And now we're getting to the next level. I believe that the more self-awareness we have, the more empathy and compassion that we have for self and others, the more it reflects our, I don't know, soul maturity. I don't know if it's something. I believe that some of you will understand what I say, right? And those who don't, I'm going to think that I'm mad, and it's okay. But I believe that it reflects a level of soul maturity. So it's not our first rodeo. It's not our first try. We've been here. We tried also different things, and now we're getting to a place where if you follow some, I am not religious, but if you understand Buddhism, for instance, there's a principle about us coming here to learn about ourselves. But at some point, when we have reached the pinnacle of empathy and compassion, we have experienced all the stuff, and we are able to get to that state, no matter what happens to us. Now it's the state of samsara. We have reached nirvana. We don't need to come back and learn anymore because we have learned everything that was to be learned in our human experience. So there are other levels after that. I don't know about them because I don't study Buddhism. I just have some awareness of it. But this is the idea behind it. I think that something that can maybe bring you some comfort if you are spiritual is to realize that some of us believe that if we've been through a lot of things very bad and we are getting better and we can still find love, compassion, and empathy instead of hatred and anger and protection, then we have reached the pinnacle of what a human being potential can reach. So there you go. Something interesting, different perspective. Explicit. I constantly feel like I am not enough, even in situations where I should feel confident. Like at the gym, where I'm often one of the bigger guys, I still feel judged. So yes, whatever outside and inside is very different. There's something called body dysmorphia. And very often, if we're insecure about the way that we look, in any which direction, then no matter what we look like, we never be interpreted as such by our own mind. So some people, they may never be big enough. Some others, they may never be skinny enough. And so forth and so on, whatever that they are trying to achieve. If you have a filter in our head, that is going to distort our interpretation of what we see. Explicit. People might be looking at me out of admiration or interest, but in my head, it always feels like they're criticizing me or laughing at me. It drains me because I just want to be myself without feeling constantly watched or judged. Work on yourself. You have some limiting belief. You have the voice of people who really hurt you, some people who bullied you, and it's still there. And now you're doing it to yourself because you have created that system and you're not aware of this. But the problem is not the world. The problem is your interpretation of the world. And so basically we're back to that place. Address the filters, address the belief system, address the emotional triggers, learn about yourself, learn about your past, learn about your emotions, learn about different parts within you, learn about psychology, or do some therapy. But you can absolutely change this. There are many ways to do this. But realize, and this is my message, realize that you can change this. What you need to change is not the world. It's just the way you see yourself in the world. That's it. You are seeing yourself from the perspective of your bullies, from the perspective of the people who told you that you are not enough, unless and until you did that or you looked like that. And so if you can look at yourself from a different perspective, you will already feel better about yourself. So let's say, let's switch the rules. Imagine that one of your friends came to see you, someone that you like, someone you care about, a friend that you love. And that person says to you, explicit, I hate the way that I look, I feel that I'm ugly, people are laughing at me, I feel so insecure. But if you look all right, what are you going to tell your friends? Yes, it's true. You're rubbish, you're ridiculous. No, you will not tell that to your friend. You will say to your friend, I don't agree with that. I think that you're amazing. Look, and show him his reflection of himself from a different angle, perhaps. And so, do this to yourself. We speak to ourselves in a way that we would never speak to, but we do this to ourselves because it is the echo from the voices from our past. You can learn how to no longer play that narrative. It's just a voice. You can choose another voice. Think about your thoughts like radio stations. So far, you've been listening to that program that is always putting you down. You can go somewhere else and choose something else, something happy, something light, something empowering instead. Okay, yes, it only hurts me to hold on that residue. And I realized we never had an adult conversation. And I think that would help so many families if that could happen ideally. Okay. Pumpkin, I think that's a very positive outlook on life and our souls. There's a Buddhist that was asked if he was happy, and he spoke about how his journey was not about finding happiness, but finding peace. Yes, I saw something like that, like a Shaolin Kung Fu guy. I don't know, I saw that not long ago, so that could be the same guy. But here you go, I disagree with him. Because he's basically sharing his own journey, and this is what monks do. They seek inner peace. This is their journey, but it doesn't have to be everyone. I want happiness. I want inner peace and happiness and everything else, because I'm also a human being that is here to experience my human experience. And so I understand that inner peace is very important, but happiness is as well. Everything is. It's not this or that. Right? He's only projecting his own adventure as a monk. As a monk, you seek inner peace. This is what they do. You spend as much time as you can practicing just peace. Right? I don't want to do this. I can explore this when I meditate and I enjoy this, but I also want to laugh. I want to do things that makes me happy. I want to have some big pleasurable sensorial experiences as well every now and then. All of this is important to me. It's not just this or that. So the way that I explain it is that we have a spectrum of feelings and emotions and states. And in the middle is the line of inner peace, is the line of safety. Underneath you have all the disempowering negative emotions. Fear, anxiety, sadness, jealousy, envy, anger, all of those things, they're all there in different ways. On the top, you have all the good stuff. You've got joy, love, excitement, inspiration, gratitude, forgiveness. They're all there, and we fluctuate. And the way that I see it is that everything above the line of peace and safety is called happiness. And so we want to do that, and every now and then we do want to explore, to remind ourselves of the contrast, because otherwise this doesn't exist without that. So we need to, every now and then, have some lows to be reminded of the highs that we have. But the whole goal, for me, the game of life is about this. It's not about zzz. It's not like a heart pulse that has no beat. I want my heart to have some beat, and more here than there. But I understand what you mean. I understand what you mean. I do understand. Pumpkin, I do believe we are here to learn. I don't know what, but we seemingly do experience the things that we need for us to grow. I guess not everyone thinks this. Yes, we are here to experience ourselves, indeed. And people, they may not be aware of this, and it's okay. And that's their experience. Some people's experience is going to be hatred, anger, reactivity, and this is their life. And it's sad from our perspective, because we realize that they could have more. But we shouldn't judge them, because it is their experience. It is their experience in their life, and it is valid. If you're a spirit, maybe that's the experience what you have. You want to be a horrible person. You want to be full of hatred. It is an experience. Now, if you can have a hatred at the start of your life and then change this, it's a better experience. But then we don't choose this. Pumpkin, yes, I think we saw the same clip. Yes, he had an interview with Stephen Bartlett. So maybe it's there. Interview of a CEO or something like that. I follow Stephen Bartlett. I like his stuff. And some of his guests are very good. And that was an interesting one as well. If that's the one, right? He's dressed up like a Shaolin monk kung fu guy. Bold. Pumpkin, so we should experience every emotions more than just feeling peaceful. Yes, this is your journey. You can't choose anyway. But what you want to do is to choose more of something. This is what you do when you want to heal. You want to have less of the negative one. You have to have less depression, less anxiety, less suffering, less anger. Because you want to be more in that zone. So you're doing it already. This is what you do anyway. Growth and healing is the same thing. Growth and healing are two different words that exist on the same momentum. So healing is when we want to go from a place of pain to a place of non-pain. And growth is anything above. But it's the same. When you heal, you are growing. And when you grow, you're still healing from some of the limiting beliefs that you had from your past. Yeah. Pumpkin Puff, do you think there is one fix for everyone to be enlightened? No. Nope. There's nothing that fixes everything. There's nothing that fixes everything. We're all different, and nothing ever happens for only one reason. Everything is always the result of many things all occurring at the same time in this moment only. And so this is actually a very important point to have as far as self-awareness is concerned. So when we want to heal, we don't want to find the one thing that is the best. Because there's not one thing that is the best. There's not one system that fixes everyone. There's, however, at least one system that will work for you at this point in time in your journey. It's the same thing with everything else. Some people very often ask me, what is the best meditation? There's no best meditation. The only one meditation that is best for you is the one that you can do. It's the one that works for you. It's the one that is simple and easy and enjoyable for you. That's it. But there's not one that is better. It's pointless to compare yourself with others if you can't do this, right? And it's the same thing with anything else. Books. People always ask me, what is the best book? I don't know. It depends on what you want to learn, what you want to expand your mind on. It's all different for everyone. So there you go. This is very important, sir. Is to realize that there's not one perspective. There's not one truth. There's not one fixed and universal reality. There are only infinite experiences each moment that are experienced by each of us. And if we can get our head around this, now we don't need to judge anymore. We don't need to expect anymore. We don't need to be heartbroken anymore. Because we understand that we all come from a different place, we all have a different experience for X, Y, Z, and no one does anything on purpose. We are doing what we can, all of us, always, despite what we've been taught. Some people are good, some people are bad, they're wicked, those sort of things. Kay, why do you think we're here? To experience our life as a human being. You're here to experience what it is to be Kay in this life at this point in time. That's it. You're discovering the journey of yourself. And we're all doing this. That's the reason we're here. That's what I believe, right? We're not here to leave a legacy. We're not here to all of those things are what the ego believes. But if you look at yourself from a spirit, from a bigger perspective, you're here to experience what it is to be a human being. That's it. And whatever happens within that life is valid. Everything is a story. Now, it doesn't mean that we can't make it a better story. We can learn how to be the author of our own story, and we can change this. We don't have to be just the actor and the spectator. We can be the script writer. And so, yes, so this is what growth and healing are all about. It's about realizing all of those things. Does it work for you, Kay? What do you think about the reason as to why we're here? Pumpkin, do you believe that we are all connected as humans or even for all living creatures? Yes, we are. We are. I believe that everything in the universe is no more or less than a big mass of energy that is manifesting and expressing itself in different ways for whatever reasons. And this is it. Everything is energy. You are energy, I am energy, animals, things, emptiness, everything is some form of energy, and everything is transforming all the time. So we're all connected in that sense. There's a very common and well-known phenomenon called the butterfly and the hurricane effect. So if a butterfly flaps its wings, somehow it's going to influence a hurricane happening on the other side of the world. And so in that sense, we're all connected to everything. If you do or say or allow something that will create a course of event, that will add to a course of event, and this is how we shape everything in this world. Everything that we do, everything that we say, everything that we don't do, don't say, and allow, we all contribute to everything all the time, in some capacity. Explicit, can I book a session with you? I want to heal. All right. So if you want to do this, go on my profile. There's a link to my website, and also on each videos I put it. But the videos, they don't have a link. You need to copy and paste. Whereas if you go on my profile on YouTube, I think the link works. I did it not long ago. So press the link. It will take you to my website, and from my website you can organize a discovery call with me. It's free. It's half an hour, and it's for everyone. Everyone who wants to find out if they can work with me, we organize that, and we find out about each other and whether I can work or not with you. Right? So I'm happy to do that. I work on Zoom, and my time is UK time. So if you can watch me there, we can organize it sometime. Whenever our schedule align. Thank you for the inquiry. Explicit. Pumpkin Puff. If all humans understood each other, do you think would we still have balance, the yin and the yang? We are meant to evolve. The universe is always expanding, and so is human societies and civilizations. And so we've been only here for a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a moment. And so we're still very new at it. And so I don't know if you're going to make it or not. Because if you look at it, if you look at how long the planet has been existing and us, we've been here nothing. Dinosaurs who didn't make it have been here for much longer time than us. And so we're not that important. Now, I believe that we are capable because we have that intelligence that makes us different. And so there's a lot of potential there. And so our story is to evolve, and I believe that we'll keep on evolving. This I do believe. Balance, I don't know what we call balance. I think that things will get better and they will get different. But I'm not sure what you call balance today could be very different about what balance means in 1,000 years or even 100 years, right? I think we will have different systems, and old stuff based on ignorance will kind of disappear. But it doesn't mean that there will be balance, because there's always going to be some contrast, remember? There's always going to be some ups and downs, because otherwise nothing changes. For change and life to occur, there must be contrast. There must be ups and downs. There must be adversity, challenges, unpleasant things. Otherwise, there's no stress. Otherwise, there's no need to adapt to anything new. I think we want to focus on evolution and do our best to go with that flow and to contribute to impacting the world positivity by working on ourselves. Just that, we don't need to do anything else. We just need to, if we're happy, if we're balanced, if we're enjoying a fulfilling life, we will impact the world positively in any which way. It's undeniable. We don't have to be all Steve Jobs or Che Guevara or any other thing. We can absolutely be just me, but if you're happy, that's enough, because you will impact people around you through your behavior, through your kindness, through you helping them, and through also the things that you do. And some of us have more impact than others based on what they do. But it's not a competition. We all have the ability to impact the world positively. And as long as we do that, we are contributing in shaping a better society that will reflect our evolution as a species. Pumpkin, oh, do you think that thoughts also have energy? Yes, they are energy. Can that energy that stays in our head affect others, or does it just stay in our body? Energy changes. Energy mutates. And so the energy of thought will get you to do something. If you think about something, you can take an action. So the energy of thought is born also from the energy of emotion. You feel something in your body because of whatever triggers. And so now, because of that, the energy of emotion is going to mutate into the energy of thought. So now you're going to think something to kind of explain the emotion to yourself. And then that energy of thought is going to mutate into the energy of action. You're going to do something, or you're going to allow something to happen. And that allowance or that action is how your energy of thought has transformed into the energy of action. And that energy of action now is impacting others. So you may say something. The energy of thought has transformed into the energy of words, the sound. And now, as that sound travels in space, is going to reach someone's ear. And that person is going to hear the energy of that word, and that energy is going to transform again in their body, in emotion. It's going to make them feel something. It's going to make them see something in their mind. It's going to get them to have an experience. And that's how that energy of the word has transformed again in their body, in the shape of energy of emotions and thoughts. And this keeps going on. Everything is energy. So even thoughts, words, emotions, actions, inactions, everything is a form of energy that is contributing. See the world like an ocean. There are waves happening all the time. And whatever that we do, whatever that we think, whatever that we say, is somehow contributing to some waves around us. That's it. Pumpkin, sorry for all the questions. I rarely get to talk about these things. I'm glad that you have all of those questions. But I think I'm about to go. Gosh, I'm realizing I've been here for nearly 3 hours. So I'm going to make my exit slowly. I'm going to read the last comment. But if there's any big subject, please come back and I will do it. We can continue the conversation sometime next week. Because I do have other things to do as well of today. Let me go quickly. Kay, I think we're here for a reason, to help someone and to see for ourselves. Pledu, what's your expertise? I don't know what these RTT therapies are. I don't have the time to cover it again, but very quickly, so that you know, RTT is a type of hypnotherapy. It's like hypnotherapy on steroid. And we basically address all of your problems from the very belief and emotional trigger that started it all. So we are going in depth and addressing your problems from here. And if you want to know more about this, by any means, please replay that video, because I explained it during that live. All the live that I do on YouTube, I leave them there. So you can always go on my profile on YouTube, press the live section, you can see all the live are there. And so today I did explain about RTT. So if you want to know about it, please replay. Other than that, I just have to go. I'm so sorry. Other than that, come back next time and I will explain again on my next live if you want. Pledu. Okay, yes, Pumpkin, always wondered how it works in the world. It goes somewhere and feeds something. So I hope that I clarified it. Omnum, this live was really entertaining. Thank you again, Didi. I wish you a nice time. Thank you so much, Omnum. K. Stevens, thank you, thank you. Pumpkin, thank you so much for answering all my questions. Hopefully that wasn't overwhelming. Not at all. It was very, very interesting for me as well. But I really appreciated the conversation. I hope you have a good night. Thank you so much. Guys, I love you all. Omnum, Pumpkin, K, Plead Up, everyone else, Explicit, and anyone else in the back, but have not spoken to me directly. I wish you a fantastic day or night, wherever you are in the world. Remember that you can replay this. I will come back sometime next week. So for sure, sometime on Saturday. And I want to do another one during the weekdays, but I don't know yet. It all depends on my schedule and my level of energy and my mood. But for sure, Saturday, the time, I don't know yet. I know in the morning. So if you want to check, first, please subscribe, support me. That would be appreciated. And in the morning, just check your YouTube. And if I'm going to go live, I will schedule it. So you will have a notification. DD is going live at 3 o'clock or 6 o'clock or whatever. So that gives you an idea if you can and if you want to join the next live. Okay. If you know any friends who could benefit from that, please get them involved. I'm generally here to help as much as I can. And I'm also on TikTok. So TikTok, YouTube, I put some new videos every day. Please comment on it. Tell me what you think about it. I will work on some long form for YouTube, hopefully sometime soon. And I go live both on TikTok and YouTube. So double chances to catch me. Okay. I think that's it. Guys, remember to be kind to yourself, right? Take care and see you next, hopefully.